Can we just reread?
Okay. Well.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great, thank you.
Good.
Wow.
I know. Good people.
In person.
In person.
Yeah. Great. I'm on camera. Is there any where they?
Right here seems like.
Take the end.
She's moving around now, and she's like, where are your feet? Where are your feet? Just want to see if I can zoom.
In the Zoom itself. Is it a Zoom room?
It's not a Zoom room, no.
Okay. Because if it's Zoom room, you can actually go into Zoom and pull the camera and see. There are shouldn't tell her.
If you're talking about zooming in,
Yeah.
I know there's a way to do that through the iPad, and I would just wanted to get this going first, and then I'm gonna
Yeah.
figure out the
Yeah.
details like that. I just wanted to make sure it's gonna work first, but yeah,
Sure.
our tech guy was telling me about that, but thank you. I mean, and if you know how to do it,
I do.
okay, I may ask you about that later. That would be
Cool.
awesome. Thank you.
Paul, what's new?
What's that?
What's new?
We have an event Saturday. We changed the name of the Heritage Center to the old school.
Oh, cool.
And then we're gonna do a remarketing campaign. Be bugging you guys about
Yeah,
the old school.
the old
The
school.
old school.
I like that.
It's all it ever was, right?
Yeah,
And I finally convinced the board. Oh, damn it, I'm right on. I tried to finally convince the board to do it. Well, I didn't, actually, it was Robert's idea. He talked about it.
Is that what it used to be called?
Well, no, so, yeah, basically, so everybody, like Robert Gibbs was talking about it, everybody who's ever been to called it the old school, and then when I started, so I started halfway through the restoration project, and, I started halfway through the restoration project, and, it was always the old school, so if you look back at all of our documentation, everything to the old school, and I always
Okay.
wondered why Heritage Center.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that it's going back to the nickname.
Right?
You never liked Heritage.
Well, me personally, and it wasn't, this was done by my board, but
This is the one you
me
gave
personally, Heritage is a dog whistle.
We paid
So
that.
like you guys probably just go, oh, that's nice, Heritage, whatever. I hear it and I hear a lot of people in some places. Heritage, and usually there's a red flag with those stripes on it, stars in it.
It's history, not hate.
Yeah. And so there are a lot of organizations. The other reason is that's not a big impetus. I mean, they also do things in museums. So they come in summer and they get kind of angry that we're like workspace.
Oh, sure. That makes perfect sense.
Nice. It's the Heritage Center.
Right.
And they'll go, well, why from it? So Heritage, because they're embarrassed because they want to, whatever, or they
Yeah.
really want to, whatever.
You should be called that.
Yeah, that. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Okay, whatever.
I know. So yeah, we decided workspaces. Yeah, you want to work over there? It's starting, because we started it right in the middle of those different waves, and so that's beautiful.
Yeah. I know. What a little.
This is my first one, and just Mark on main party, in the old gallery right next door.
Oh, nice.
So it's called Chef's Corner.
Oh, cool.
Focused on charcuterie, culinary stuff. I've been a chef for about 20 years or so. Worked at the Devil's Thumb for 6 years. So kind of all over.
Are you open or are you working on?
As soon as I get the email from the health
Oh,
department.
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's like, they basically got catered for a little, and then I went, oh shit. And then, they take another couple days to do that, but so I'm just kind of a.
Do we have charcuterie?
I know.
Right?
I'm so glad I put on real pants.
I
So,
I did it with my stretchy pants.
Chef's
Yeah, right.
So I have a So you get everybody.
That's
here.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
I've been doing I've been in Georgetown for the last year.
Okay.
I was doing farmers markets with the fish shapes on the way. So
How you doing?
It was a morning at the juice out of there, but-
So, that's the way I was walking. Just walk around, check it out, saw space. Yeah.
That's a good space.
Kind of spitballing this idea.
Yeah.
Got a wagon guy, so we'll have steaks.
Oh, cool.
Wagon as well. so.
Wow.
I'm late to the party. Where's your space?
Right next door.
Oh, nice. That's
That is awesome.
Yeah, everybody check out.
And Patty.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting all today.
Nice to meet you. Chef's Corner.
I like your,
We'll be there soon.
I'm Amanda Cooper.
Amanda Cooper, Marty.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet
Thank you so much.
Paul Boats.
Paul, nice to meet you. Marty, yeah. Pleasure.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thank you.
So yeah, we've got some local jams. This is the limoncello, and we have a little pepper jelly,
Oh, fun.
both from Brad B. Jammin, which is out of Littleton.
Steve's just gonna be standing there the entire
I
time,
know, right?
not sitting down.
Yeah.
Steve, please sit down, get away from the computer, Lauren.
Thank you.
You're very
Very nice to meet you. Welcome.
I like your skin.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I was like,
What size do you wear? I like
It's
your
really
skin.
early. I did moisturize because we were gonna be in
Oh,
public.
good, good, because you need to have lotion on.
Yes.
Would you like to come see? I have some clothes for that for my band.
Unarmed white man.
What's the motion?
Oh, that's good.
Is that my computer?
No, that one, it went to, I don't know, honestly. So Shore Grocery would take a charge, but I think that I messed it up. I slammed the charger in the car door and I didn't realize it. And then I bought a new charger, but I think I fried it trying to like clean it up and like fix it.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of works, but it's now Nolan's.
Oh.
And I broke down and
Yes.
bought myself a Pro, which
Yeah.
I've never done. I've never ever had a new laptop in the
Oh.
history of my life.
Yeah,
So I bought
That's
it.
fun.
I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a new laptop.
yeah,
Good
yeah.
morning. Morning. How are you?
Hello, how are you?
We have candy and charcuterie
Excellent.
in commemoration of our first.
I was gonna make popovers, but then I realized I didn't have any eggs. Next time.
Well, now it's just all for nothing. No popovers. I'm out of here. So this is. Who can, Jen, like, how does this work? Like, this situation here? I mean, I know I can see Kevin, but is that like being
Right,
live?
that's, yeah, we're live right now.
Okay.
And he's the only one that's on there, and we're gonna see how it works. This is the first try. Yeah.
I guess so.
No name plates or anything?
We got a charcuterie though,
Ah.
Yours is a. It's okay.
and candy.
I'm not going with it, I'm gonna have any. Next time. One day. For however.
What you need.
You watch too?
Okay, let me share.
Are you?
They're very,
They're very good, but you can just take a look.
they really, they are quite garbage.
I haven't ever been told that.
Yeah, it's gonna be the fourth one.
No. You're gonna do it, go big.
We can maybe move you up after.
Bigger go. Anyway, it's trickling in, but it is there. We have 2 monthly people right now.
Good, how are you?
Finally got a
Good deal.
contract with CCMC.
How do you feel?
So we're always working to work there. And I haven't seen you guys.
Do you wanna, should we move him to, yeah, cause we could do 6th Street last.
You were there before, what's the thing? That's awesome.
Yeah.
I
so
don't
we
think
could
I
do-
ever actually checked out.
When they come in.
Okay.
I'd like to, but sometimes it's nice to just like get out of the house and like go somewhere else where you're not distracted by my phone.
I believe so.
Need to connect to something.
Oh, he just texted me.
I'd really like to check it out.
Okay, and
He's
then
on
I'll give
Zoom.
you, some time, and then if you ever want
Yeah.
to do a deal like we were talking about
So
before, where,
Jen, it sounds like
if you're working there,
Steve
if
is
you're
on
managing this
Zoom
for
and
me,
he needs to be promoted.
like if people come in,
Yeah,
they don't walk in a lot.
yeah.
But we did have some the other day, so it's starting to
Triple in.
trickle, the advertising starting to work, now I won't change the name of it.
Oh, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
Well.
I mean, that's just gonna work, I'm just gonna
Oh,
watch it, or maybe,
Yeah, well, I was just gonna add on one little thing, so.
Too much for here. Seems like the building.
I won't call it study hall for those who haven't been out of school for 4 years.
Yeah. Jordan.
Welcome aboard.
Yes, you know.
Right, you're
Okay.
senior in high school.
Yeah, that's right. And we've got.
I took a course that was study hall.
Nice to
that I
meet you.
had a period, and I loved it because I did all my homework.
And you and I do.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you do.
It was called.
Oh, maybe I'm getting senile. What do you think?
It's like extensive periods.
Yeah, if you like call it study hall, that's just how it
So
is.
who are you?
And there used to be this boy that was
On the
ahead of
board
me
of
in front of me,
selectmen, and I represent.
and he read the international higher.
You and I have chatted. Yes.
You're actually a whole bunch of things.
And I had no idea,
Yeah.
because I was just naive.
You
should shot your shot. I know, man.
Thank you,
Nothing had a date, awkward date.
That doesn't mean I won't get to know.
That's okay, and I always will reintroduce myself.
As I
I
just-
hate when that happens and you can't remember the person's name until.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I know the only other
He knows
person
my
I
past. He knows-
don't know if we'll hear from is Justin, but since everybody else is here, are you ready for me to get everything underway, Jen?
I think I just need to see if the other people can hear us.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Steve, can you hear us?
We're really getting.
Yes, I can. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, we're ready.
I can't hear him super well. Is that, I
Okay,
mean, you might,
so that,
sorry, we'll call the meeting to order in a second, guys. I just want to make sure we're all good on the audio.
okay, can we do a test? Steve, can you say something?
Yeah.
Steve, can you say something?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
No, it's not working.
It may be for this morning that we may just have to have you kind of relay to us, so we'll all be really quiet once from the Zoom talks.
Hello?
Steve, try
Yes,
again.
testing 1, 2, 3.
Sorry,
Improving.
guys. Okay.
Is it turned up on the computer side?
Everyone bear with us as we come into this brave new era of meetings and the 2022 hybrid meeting.
Or is the speaker, is it feeding to that speaker, or is it
Yeah,
feeding through
I
that?
can hear you coming through the speaker,
Okay,
Me?
both of you guys.
Okay.
It's up 100%.
Steve, you want to try one more time?
Yes, testing 1, 2, 3.
We may just have to kind of mess with it so we don't hold
Yeah.
everybody up and then so Kevin and Steve, if you guys can do me a favor today while we're running the meeting, if you'll just like raise your hands on the monitor, because I can see that really well. And then we'll all just be extremely quiet while you make your points. And we'll let Jen tell us what your stance says.
I don't see the hand raised button
All
though.
right, well, we will go ahead and get started. It is 8:03 a.m. on Wednesday, April 26th, or Wednesday, April 6th, excuse me. And I call to order the first in-person meeting of the Georgetown Business Promotions Commission in 2 years. Yay! Can we get a roll call, please?
Okay, Katie Button here, Kyle Button.
Here.
Although,
here.
Amanda Cooper,
Here?
Mary Smith. Here. Gary Hayes. Here. And virtually, we have Steve Skowski and Kevin McCarrick.
Here.
Awesome. All right. Agenda approval. Any amendments to the agenda today? We are going to move the 2022 borough race up to the first order of business today. That should be very quick. Any other amendments or adjustments to the agenda? Okay. Can I please have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Agenda is approved. Audience business, members of the audience will have 5 minutes to present any matter of concern to the commission. Is anyone here today with audience business that is not included on the agenda?
Yes. We have Marty with Colorado Chef.
Yeah, Chef's Corner.
Or sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. It's got the Colorado. So, I'm just opening the shop next door, kind of specialty foods, growing to getting, specialty wines and beers as well. We're gonna start small.
Sure.
Gonna have, local, kind of focused on local Colorado products, food, candles, spice blends, all that kind of stuff, everything you would need for your kitchen or to do restaurant food at home, since none of us can go to restaurants anymore.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's just kind of, glad to be here. Part of the
How's that?
Now can you guys hear us?
Okay. Hooray!
Steve Interviews and get him back.
Okay, we got it, we got it.
Everyone is easy.
Gentlemen, just to get you up to speed, it will be noted in the minutes. A little bit of feedback there.
Yeah,
That's-
we're working on that.
We'll figure that out.
We got it.
We did approve $500 for the borough races. Do either of you have a very staunch objection to giving the borough race $500? That's negative, okay. All right. So next on the item on the agenda, we have Mary. Good morning. Hi, how are you today?
Good, thanks. I just wanted to come and talk to you guys. There seems to be some confusion about special events and vendors and food trucks.
Okay,
So, there have been events where I haven't, that have had vendors that I found out after the fact that we didn't get a list, we didn't get any applications, they didn't pay, food trucks didn't pay. So Jennifer and I were talking as far as just a streamlined procedure to make sure we capture all this, so there's not so much extra work to be done after the fact, trying to chase people down. You know, over the years, HGI has gotten great about, they give you a spreadsheet, it's got all the information, phone numbers, sales tax numbers, and I believe you guys require them to show their sales tax license, right? Now I still haven't received it, and we've only received 3 remittances from Christmas market, but I have another report coming end of this week, beginning of next week, so hopefully after your email, that will help. But Jennifer and I were talking, and the last minute applications and stuff are just, they aren't working. So if we could all get on the same page that the vendors and food trucks are either coming in or contacting town hall and getting their applications and fees in, you know, at least 2 weeks prior to any event.
Okay,
And then if they're doing it through town hall, we know, like, if it's missing the sales tax number, or if it's a bogus sales tax number, we know it right then and there. And we can say, no, this isn't correct. Get that. But I want to make sure we're all on the same page, because if you're charging some people and not charging other people, then that's going to get us in a bind.
and just to be clear, we're not including the nonprofits in that conversation, right?
Well,
they're
not
exempt.
including like non-town sponsored events. If they're town sponsored or partially town sponsored, and like Paul does the Sheep Festival, but that's still a town sponsored event. They're
Gotcha.
running it, but it's in collaboration with
Yeah, we've been around.
The-
Understand.
If we have an actual non-sponsored booth vendor, those fees can be waived for the non-sponsored booth vendor, right? Not the event sponsor, but like, I'm trying to think of it, but I can't think of one right now. But somebody told me, and I'm just clarifying that this is correct, that if they're the booth, if the person in the booth doing the vending is a nonprofit, then those fees can be waived for those. I haven't had any
Well,
encounter with that, but,
the school would be an example,
right, good enough,
or the
Yeah.
community center.
sure.
right, but I mean, to have you know, oh, yeah, this person paid, but, oh, I told that person not to worry about it. We can't be doing that, because the fee schedule, I mean, it's on the booth rentals and all the food truck information is all on our fee schedule. So if we're picking and choosing who we're charging, that's just gonna get us in trouble.
And to clarify too, like in a situation with say Bighorn Sheep Festival, like those, we would still collect fees for that, right? Okay,
Well, they need to come to town hall and pay the fees, then, you know, we can figure out how much in advance of the event, we will let the event coordinator know, this is who we got applications and fees from. Anybody else, you know, they're not.
Just need to have the time to replace those people, so I love the 2 weeks thing. But if we have to, if we don't, people don't have their fees in 2 weeks in advance, and we have to replace a vendor or we want to replace a vendor, obviously that may come a little closer to the event.
So I mean, we just need to
For
figure out
replacement.
how far in advance do you
Okay.
want to know what we've received at town hall, I guess.
But if we were doing an event and someone canceled, and obviously the coordinator's doing this with us, and so I'm sure there was some new job glitches going on, but if we're to do an event and that week, a couple days before, we have someone locked out and we have somebody coming into the event, they're bringing their business license, they're bringing their 1099 and or whatever they need, and they're bringing their fee. Couldn't that get to you on Monday, or is it just because of, is this because of convenience, or is this because of a law?
No, it's because it's not happening. Like-
Right, but I understand that you've dealt with this in-house, right, already, and you've had conversations in-house between the 3 staff members about this?
Yeah.
Because this sounds like a staff glitch. Because we haven't been doing that many events in the last 2 years to have this conversation. So what I'm saying is, what I'm asking you is, if we have an event, Sheep Festival is coming up, Jen will be doing because it's a partnership. If we have a vendor who on Friday decides to back out, Jen just happens to have a vendor to come back in on Saturday, can't they bring all their stuff and then you just get it on Monday? If they have all their ducks in a row.
That's a different event, ducks.
The dog.
I think what the problem was is that at this last event, we didn't get any of the vendor fees, and so Mary and I were having to call all these people. And we got a hold of all of them, it was no problem, but it was like a month after the fact. and
But has this been dealt with
They had-
in-house between the 3 of you? Because that sounds like something that was probably a new job.
We're trying to get it out in the open so we can talk about it with everybody, so there's no miscommunication moving forward.
So what I would love as a commissioner, for you to give us your exact in writing, what you require. And then we can go over that and use that, and I'll have that available as a checklist.
So that was what I was gonna suggest, is because we're actually going into, it seems pretty straightforward and we can just, let's review everything and make sure that it makes sense, so that when the things that Jen and Paul are talking about with somebody backing out, so we're not in a position where it's like, well, okay, we had 9 vendors dip and now we have no vendors,
Yeah.
so, I
We're
mean,
kind of coming from the place that the people were there.
Yeah.
They were there.
but ahead of time, so we have 2 separate conundrums, but, and yes, in this particular instance, making sure that the fee schedule is being followed is really important, but I think we've got an opportunity with Strauss Park basically being not useful for the next 6 months of our lives. And the likelihood we'll have any vendors here for the next 4 to 6 months is pretty unlikely, I would imagine. I mean, is there a reason we would have a vendor up that you can think of?
Yeah, a couple.
A couple?
I mean, and when I get to my little piece, I
Okay.
can talk about that a little bit, just alternatives to Strauss Park that are being explored for vendor possibilities. So yes, it could happen, but I think just developing a process, a flow sheet of how this is gonna go, I think it's very clear. We know what the fee schedule is, it's going to be followed moving forward. I think the 2 weeks in advance for me as the manager of that is perfectly acceptable. We do need to make exceptions for when we do lose vendors last minute, because obviously it looks poor for us if we all of a sudden have no vendors at an event we advertise vendors for.
Yeah.
And so we want to be able to fill those. So I think there needs to be written in an exception to that rule, but obviously that's an exception. It's not the general flow of how this is gonna go. And I'm very clear on how I need to collect those fees and when they need to be collected and how we want this to go moving forward. So I think we're good. I mean, we've had lots of conversations about it, but I think putting it in writing that everybody has it, and then whoever wants to, then I can do that too, in collaboration with both Mary and Jennifer, and just email it out, and then we all know.
Okay.
But I just want to be clear too, that we have the exceptions that I mentioned, just so we're on the same page, like if it is a nonprofit, like the school or the community center. And I think that was kind of what we wrote into the food truck,
Mhm.
for that specific reason, for food vendors that wouldn't have to pay those fees, but maybe just to clarify it across the board. And
The
then I
goal
think
with the
it's
food
good.
truck was to make sure that brick and mortar businesses that had paid for brick and mortar licenses weren't slighted
Correct.
by somebody who just shows up and pays like $10.
So for the food truck thing, but the ordinance we just created is $100 per year and then it's $25 per day,
Yeah,
Yes,
which is
So-
fair.
so 125 would be,
For the first
For
day,
the
yes,
first day.
and after that, maybe $25 each time.
and so, okay, well, I mean, it sounds like the discussion is out there and you guys have worked through the pieces that needed to happen in, and so we need to work on a flow sheet. Is that what you want from us, or is this just a conversation?
Well, just
So
that we would rather have the vendors come in or contact town hall, pay us directly. And then with, you know, so like what Paul was saying, if someone last minute is replacing somebody, yeah, they can come in on Monday, you know, someone just needs to let us know this person canceled. But it needs to all flow through the offices downstairs.
Can the paperwork still flow through me and be sent to you? Because otherwise I cannot keep track of vendors and who's there and who I need to communicate with and how that goes. I think we were okay with paperwork on this last one. That wasn't a big issue. It was the fees. And I think that's cool that the fees get paid directly to you as long as it's communicated to me when someone pays, so that I can keep that.
the management piece is in your job description. That's, I mean, and so if that means that you have to make sure that they get the fees, like, I mean, how that works, that's what we need to work out maybe internally with all of us, because having the vendors go to you, and then if she doesn't find out a vendor's coming, that's gonna be equal, or if she's trying to fill multiple spots,
Well, that's
we have
what
to kind of try and, that's,
Yeah.
I guess that's what I'm confused about.
But that's what I mean, so prior to the event, we'll have a list. This is who came in, I mean, obviously, Jen's gonna be their first point of contact to, you know, are they coming or not? You've got a list, this is who I've talked to, this is who says they're coming, and then Jennifer and I have a list, okay, this is who
Is
pays.
paid.
So. if
And my only
we-
ask there is that if you could just send them to me as they pay, that would be a lot easier than 2 weeks trying to look at a list and then go back and do that, that's all. Not a big deal, but we can put that in a, you know, those pieces, I think we just do this and then we all have it, and then we all are good to follow it, I think we can.
That's what
Go
My
from there.
sense in this particular is that, especially when you guys have a new town administrator coming in, to kind of, if you guys want to tell us how we can support this and making sure that everyone's on the same page. And if you need us as a commission to vote on anything or review anything, we can certainly do that. But for now, I mean, I'm glad the conversation's out there and we know, but if you guys are in a position where you can kind of work through this paperwork, the communication in between, I think that would be the best course of action.
I mean, the one point I wanted to make, though, that everybody has to be, other than nonprofits, okay, those, but everybody has to pay, it can't be.
We can't waive
pick and
fees.
choose
Okay.
And, you know, just,
makes sense.
Okay, no, I'm,
okay,
the fee schedule is the fee schedule, so,
Yeah.
okay. Well, thank you for your
Okay.
time and coming, and if you guys need anything from us on this front, you know where to find us. And hopefully that we can get through the organizational piece.
Amanda,
Okay.
since this was brought to us, I would like to see I would like to see your flow process. I would like to see your process sheet.
okay.
Since you brought it to us now, it's on in our plates, so I would love to see the process sheet once you finish.
So for next month.
Thanks.
Awesome, all right. We moved the Sixth Street Partnership, so we're gonna let Beth ask us for money. Can you hear us? Oh, one sec.
Hey, everybody.
Yep, you're good. Good morning, Beth, how are you?
Yeah, thanks. I had somebody at the door at the same time and I was like, wait. So, hey, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for giving me some time today and to come and talk about the Slacker again. Again, the event is on Saturday, June 25th. And yes, I am thinking very much about Strauss Park and what that is going to look like on Slacker Day. So I am on Parks and Rec, so I'm talking to Bob Hamilton and, you know, hoping that we can work everything out and work around whatever's happening. So I don't like to, you know, just shut the door and say it can't happen. I really want to make it happen. I really want to bring people to downtown Georgetown and see what we have to offer. So anyway, my request is, as usual, for $500 from the Promotions Commission to help promote the race and get the word out there. Last year was our first year back after the pandemic. I thought we did pretty good. We had 1,500 people. Usually we have 1,800 to 2,000. So I thought that wasn't bad for a comeback year. And we're already starting on a high note right now. We have over 800 people registered right now. So I think I sent you my little page of how this is beneficial to Georgetown and Clear Creek, between all the promotion that we do for the race online, direct email blasts. I have an email group of over 8,000 people that I email each year and just promote the race and promote downtown Georgetown. So hoping to do that again. And then I don't know, I think you guys know everything already.
It's okay.
I'm not
Full
sure.
set.
Go ahead.
Okay, you're good. We had a little bit of an audio glitch there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Continue.
No, I was just, making my annual request of $500 to help promote the race. And I think I sent you my little benefit page that says all the ways that we try to promote downtown Georgetown and Georgetown in general, and bring people to the community. We're hoping to get close to our 2,000 racer number again this year. We're up over 800 right now. So I'd love to hear from y'all. And I don't know how many new people you have that don't know anything about it. I'm happy to share information and history and all that good stuff.
I think most of us are pretty familiar with the Slacker.
There's info in your packet. Which I sent out to you.
So obviously, you guys, the Slacker is a hugely important. 20 years. This is the 20th Slacker. That's phenomenal.
I know. I feel like I had a
It
baby.
brings such an amazing vibe and energy to town.
It's a lot of slackers.
It's a lot of slackers. We do budget for this, so you see that she's asking for $500. If we could just get a motion to support this incredible event that we love so much here in Georgetown, that would be amazing. Would anyone like to make that motion?
I move that we support the Slacker with $500.
Oh, second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And it was, we got hands raised on Zoom, so. Beth, we love you, and we're so excited to continue to support this event. If you need us to support you in any other ways of, come and chat with us, but we're super excited to have the Slacker, and it was a rough time to not have it during COVID, so the energy it brings to our community is phenomenal, and we're honored to be part of it. So thank you so much for coming to see us this morning.
Thank you.
May I say something to Beth?
Yes.
Hey, Beth, it's Kevin.
Hi.
Hi. If you're looking for a place for runners to congregate and for your awards ceremony, Hotel de Paris Museum owns the parking lot just west of the museum. And we do lease it to the town of Georgetown, but if we give a 30-day notice, written notice, we can use the parking lot in different ways. And so, it's just a big open gravel area, but it's a good size and very convenient. So if you'd like to do that, just let me know and I can prepare the paperwork and reserve it for the day. We will lose all those parking spaces during the event, but you would have a place for people to congregate. So it's just an offer.
That's amazing.
Parking lots to the west of the hotel is available for the Slackers
Okay.
together. If he has notice, he can release it to
Oh,
the town.
because the park is gone. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Did you catch that, Beth?
I did. Thank you so much. I definitely want to talk to you about that.
Oh, okay, yeah. They can hear each other better than we can hear them. Yeah. It's all good. It's amazing work
We
in
just can't
progress.
do that, and I think it's because I did it, I had to get that HDMI cable after I did the test, and I thought it was, I'll get it figured.
It's okay, yeah, no, I mean, hey,
It's the first time. I've
It's
ever done that.
amazing.
Yeah.
There's no one's criticizing or calling anybody out. Well, Beth, you do have a $500 coming from us, and yes, like we said, Kevin, thank you so much for your generous offer. Let us know how else we can support the Slacker, and we're super happy to have it back. So thanks for coming this morning. We appreciate you.
Bye.
Awesome. Okay. On your agendas, we did have we amended to go a little bit out of order. Late last month, better way to say it. Jen Jordan and I met with Lindsay Valdez of CCDEC. She was gonna try and be here this morning, but she double booked, I believe it was the Rotary. So she was not able to be with us today. But basically, we had a conversation about how CCDEC could potentially start supporting business promotions and specifically 6th Street business fronts that we're noticing that are vacant or potentially going to become vacant. I think we're aware of some pretty significant changes that might be hitting 6th Street here this year with some anchor businesses as people are retiring. And so she is actually actively working with businesses that have empty storefronts and marketing them. And she is going to create, in collaboration with us, a marketing package that she can give to potential people who are interested. CCDEC, as you all may know or may not know, funds small businesses throughout Clear Creek County, specifically targeting businesses that are job creators or people that they're going to serve an underserved need for some type of a business in a community. The loans are low interest and they're not easy to get, but they're attainable for people who generally are probably unlendable from a bank standpoint because of risk factors. My husband and I were those people, even because restaurants are notoriously not given loans by banks because not many work. So CCDEC actually funded Ryan and I. And she's funding a lot of small businesses on 6th Street, and they even have opportunities for microloans for people, so they can do micro operating capital. So even if we have a local business who wants to expand a product or an offering or a service, she can facilitate a microloan for them to expand their business. And so we had a conversation that was really positive. It was a really great meeting. And she actually actively started marketing 2 of the 6th Street spaces that she knew of that were vacant or be going to potentially becoming vacant. And she's working on actively finding new tenants with funding. So hopefully we will get a nice business package that we can, something glossy that will involve how we also support businesses and how the town supports businesses. There's tax incentives for people to come to town, especially if they new build. And so, and I'm not 100% clear on what those look like right now, but things along those lines that she's going to incorporate into her repertoire. So, so that's going to be a standing agenda item for a couple of months, and hopefully she's able to come soon. Do you guys have any questions about that conversation and what that looks like? All right, well, that's that. So
May I interject to volunteer or something? We've always made the capital prize property, but we've got a lot of available for parking, things like the borough rate and the marathon and the slacker there. A couple of signs, because only just one term to get there, might help. It's easy for them walking distance.
we appreciate that, and we definitely will take in some wayfinding consideration as we have more events this summer. And if you guys are advertising that on your social media, that's also a super positive thing for folks to find it in town. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay.
I think we need to provide the signs so through parking in there.
Okay. We will pull that into, I don't want to divert from like into a wayfinding conversation, but I'm really glad to know that that's there, because wayfinding gets a little in the weeds with this group in DRC. But I think that if you're doing the promotion and advertising, that's available and you have the means within town, I don't know if you need us to sanction that, I guess is kind of what I'm saying, but it's good to know it's available, and we appreciate that as always. Go with your updates. Go.
Okay, like when I
There's a bunch of stuff.
Okay, I'll be trying to be quick. First update, I just had the first meeting of the Strauss Park Advisory Board for the Strauss Park Refresh Project. I am acting in the capacity of the communications and promotion liaison. So yeah.
I just want to make sure. So from our group, Steve and Jen, guys, are the Strauss Park people. The
Yes.
liaison.
Yes. We had a meeting. My days are less than Monday. Thank you. Good Friday. And so just that's a big part of just something that I'm working on from just promoting that project and we've got, everybody can see that the fence is up. We're trying to make it prettier, get some vinyl banners with some renderings of what the project will look like. It's not exact, but at least it's more for outsiders than for, say, locals. 'Cause you'll notice that there's some plants that are native to California there. We may or may not be able to
A lot of
remove
birds
them.
of paradise in that
Right,
one
there's some
picture.
things that couldn't actually happen in that space, but I think it gives people a good idea of what the project is and hopefully an incentive and an inspiration to return to see it when it is done. I'm also developing a landing webpage for that, so I've been working on that. That'll provide people with updates to the project, information on how to volunteer. There'll be a logo, hats, t-shirts. Just trying to make it as positive as possible. In my PR visits that I do every Friday, the response was overwhelmingly positive from the businesses in town on the project, so that was super happy to see. So if anyone has any questions about that, obviously we had our new administrator activity happening, and I put together some, hopefully they enjoyed and used welcome packets for businesses, so they could get a feel for the town, and I think they all utilized in their little breaks spots that they were informed about, so that was super fun. I don't have this to like propose yet, but because it's just come up in the last like 24 hours, but just working on potential alternative vending locations for the summer. Obviously, the park is not usable. Sounds like they're gonna pause a little bit for Georgetown days so that it won't impact that too much. At least the demolition part and the reconstruction part will kind of take place on either side of Memorial Weekend. So hopefully they can clean it up a little, you know, as best as we can, but there won't be construction in that state, in that timeframe. But yes, just definitely a few different alternatives for vending. Obviously, businesses don't want vending to completely cease for the summer without the use of Strauss Park. So I'll probably have actually something to propose for that by the next meeting. I just don't want to get to, this literally came out yesterday, so, but what was worth mentioning is something that's being worked on. I had an event proposed to me, honoring Mayor Parker's Dog Days of Summer. A new event in August 12th is the proposed date. The event's really in its infancy stages. We haven't had a chance to meet again on the topic, but just want to put it out to the board that this is a proposal. It is a very traditional block party proposal. It would close 6th Street. In conversation in our town meeting yesterday with Randy, he would prefer anything we do like that, we close all of 6th Street, not bits and pieces of 6th Street, which made sense. I'm glad I got that input, but because that wasn't the initial conversation. But it's good to know which is easier to do, and it sounds like that's easier to do. So that would be the proposal. And if anybody remembers, like some of you aren't old enough, but like your 80s block party, like cake walk, and those types of fun games. Sweet Easy would sponsor music on the stage, or where it's practical to have music at that point. We'll assess that when the construction, I think, begins, and we can really take a look at if that makes sense. But a type of sort of throwback band to kind of fit in with that retro block party feel. Obviously Parker would be involved. It's a very dog friendly event. There is a proposal for vendors of his sponsors. He has a lot of sponsors to come to town and vend here, as well as certainly local vendors, businesses that want to put anything out into the closed street if they choose. I think that's kind of the details I know on it so far.
What was the date?
August 12th.
I did find a funny TikTok the other day that your dog can observe your wedding in Colorado and sign your marriage certificate.
Okay.
So I think we should have a
Talk
wedding.
about throwing that in there, yes.
I don't think that's even remotely
That
possible.
would be so funny.
Wouldn't that be so
Yeah.
funny for somebody to get married and have their dog? And your dog can also be your officiant.
Give to our daughter.
Yeah, 'cause
So anyway, but it is actually 100% legal for your dog to sign your marriage certificate in Colorado, or your cat, if you're a cat person.
I should have had Parker.
You should have had Parker marry you. There's always a vow renewal, right? It's always, yeah.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
Be the first step.
Anybody knows any candidates for that? Throw them my way, please.
Yeah.
But like kind of making it so we can open it up to like a brief discussion.
Yeah.
Like what type of dog friendly dog days of summer things can we use to
So it's
attract?
like, it's music,
Mhm.
vendors can, storefronts can bring like a table or something outside of their store.
Yes.
There's What's a cakewalk?
Oh my gosh, okay,
See, I
so
know
I was
that.
born in 1980, and I will tell you what a cakewalk is. A cakewalk is
It's kind of.
everyone brings a cake and you walk like around circles and like, it's like musical chairs and you stop at a number and whatever the drawn number, or.
Yeah, like we draw a number at the beginning, so if you're
Yeah.
like, if it's number 4 and when the music stops, you're standing at the square number 4, you get the cake
You
number
get the
4.
cake number 4.
Oh,
You get to go
okay.
pick a cake, yeah.
I was like, you get like cake to face, like
Yeah.
what is this?
That's better.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
does need some clarifying for people not of that generation, but
Yeah.
I loved cakewalks when I was
I
little. I
did
thought
too.
it was very exciting. And the proposal for those proceeds from that type of thing, that way would go to the school.
So Parker's sponsors, right, if they came up and are they raising money for something, or is it just?
That is what I'm clear of.
Okay.
Dustin did respond to me last night to call him today,
Uh-huh.
so I think we'll have a better clarification on what that looks like by the next meeting where we can really have all the details, but.
Yeah.
There would
Right,
be some
start to
combination fundraising type of things, but it would be more an atmosphere
Right.
piece downtown, with the live music and the throwback band. I think it's got a really cool vibe personally, like I think it would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And especially if we can incorporate as many fun dog things, and honestly, Parker gets phenomenal press.
Yeah.
There's Parker's.
Obstacle course for the dog.
I know.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's adorable.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool if there's something dog related.
I think the more
Dog parade.
dog friendly things, like the more dog stuff we can put into it, definitely the better. More a dog parade. See if
Costume
Charlie's
contest.
Place would bring adoptable dogs up maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We do have a dog park.
We have a dog park.
Yeah, dog costume party, you said that. I mean, there's a lot, this event's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
And it's a good time of year. August can be, we're kind of it's not a totally dead month for us by any means, but we, like, right around this date, we generally start to hit a quick lull because school goes back.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys are aware, businesses here should know this, Clear Creek is going back earlier this year.
Yeah.
Because we're going to
4
4-day weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
Which sounds awesome, but then their summer gets shortened, right?
we can have a long conversation
Yeah.
about this at the end of this.
Yeah.
But
What's the date?
Jen and I are over here like,
That's crazy.
yeah.
What's
Yeah.
is there a date for when they return?
So this year, I think it's August 8th is when they go back. It's August 8th or August 14th. I can't remember. It's way earlier.
While we're on this theme, Jen section, may I share 2 or 3 minutes? Same thing.
So yes, but what I'm gonna say is that when we're doing public comment, that's the appropriate time for future reference. I'm more than happy to let you do that today.
Can I wait till
but-
then? What would you do?
So is it gonna be on this topic or is it good? I will give you 2 minutes on this topic, but then in the future, I have to ask that these conversations only occur during public comment because technically the commissioners, we're not in a public comment frame right now, and that violates the meeting rules. But I will coolly give you 2 minutes today, but just for any future meetings, public comment only,
Real
please.
briefly, the capital prize process is about 12,000 people a year,
Mhm.
partly because it's open every day all year. Everyone that comes through there, we're physically within contact and talking to them for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we consistently ask them, what are you gonna do now? And we give them a one-way ticket out of the place, which come down across the bridge, turn left, and they're all going down 6th Street. Now, on most of the businesses here, we've got their brochures, their rack cards, we've got one more to get here. And so we're passing out rack cards and recommending destinations based on wherever they're interested in, from the hotel to breakfast at the Hooker or whatever.
Sure.
But we got a ball. We're real, because the town doesn't allow any signs. We're real dependent on people, locals, businesses providing direction on how the heck you get there. Because the town doesn't allow any signs. They rejected those. And we're real dependent for the 13,000 or 12,000, whatever, on the businesses saying this is one of the things you can go see here in town. And so we're gonna be passing around Sixth Street again. If they want a nice place for, a nice safe place to have a fine dinner, we can be in a circle, second right, in the parking lot. And we've been doing that for years, and nobody's ever complained about that. Our way of getting in touch with the people, customer facing people, is like if you're a new waitress or something.
For sure.
We go in and make sure we're at your table and tip you nice. And we definitely been here since 1859.
You just hit your time.
We're the only five-star attraction between Golden and Bay. And all three rating services are given us 5 stars.
The Capital Prize is an amazing anchor for our community. And I am sorry, I'm gonna stop you because you hit your time.
Everybody here's got a free ticket, as does everybody who's got a business.
We appreciate that. And the way, so as far as wayfinding goes, again, I think it's a merited and warranted conversation that does need to happen in, partnership with this commission and DRC. It's not the topic at hand, and I'm sorry that I didn't catch you in the audience
I deserve
business.
to be cut off, thank you.
Pardon?
I deserve to be cut off, thank you.
You're good. So you hit your 2 minutes and you planted a really good opportunity for us to push something onto a further agenda. We're gonna, no more public comment on this matter for the rest of the meeting. If you want to catch us at the end of the meeting to get on to the future agenda, we will put you at the top of the agenda next month and you can have as much time as you need to work through the wayfinding. Okay?
It's just a promotion thing that's going on now.
Absolutely. We're good. Thank you so much, sir. We always appreciate it. And Capital Prize is a really important part of our community and we're glad it's here. So thank you.
So I have a question that pertains to what our conversation was.
Perfect.
With the music, you need to get with the Georgetown Trust because they have a partnership with the library for licensing. That's all I wanted to mention with it. And so that's something that is pertinent to any music that goes on at the library stage. The partnership is there. The licensing is held by the trust because we have a dual license to go with our stage and that stage because of Mountain Jams.
Is the library under renovation too?
Right.
We're in the process of, we're still in the beginning, we're still in the design and we're in the design process. Then we'll be moving into the fundraising process. This year, we're hoping to break ground next year.
Okay, so
This
when
point.
it got pushed back. Got it, okay.
Yeah, not this year.
Well, can I ask a quick question about that? I know we talked about the stage and the licensing, and that's totally clear, but pretend we move, is it still with the trust if the music doesn't happen there?
No,
Okay.
but I would warn you,
I want it there, but.
I would warn you. Licensing for any song, they're really strict about it now. And so you need to have a BMI, CSAC, and ASCAP license. We, in order to have it outside of our business, had to get a promoter's license, which is why that's turned into the stage. And that's just because of the stage. But if you put it somewhere else, you're on your own. But I don't know. I would be very careful because even coffee shops have been getting closed down lately because of fines and things like that, because they're playing music that doesn't necessarily have to do with licensing. So if you have
I don't do live music very often because of it.
Yeah, Steve filled me in on all of that really, in a really good way. So it's something I didn't know was quite the thing that it is, but it's really good to know.
It's just
So I
that
appreciate
stage,
that.
and I think the fee that we have to pay, it's just doing the fee through, and then we just put it on our books. It's not a big red tape thing, and I think it's like $50 or something like that. It's nominal. We just want to get rid of
I mean,
it.
obviously
Speaking of
that's where I
Steve
prefer
and
to have
Kevin, I want to hear, do you guys have anything on Dog Days of Summer?
Is that like?
I'm sorry, was,
Steve's
things-
talking.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, Steve.
was there a question to me? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I was asking if you or Kevin had anything to offer on the topic of Dog Days of Summer, the new event that's being proposed for 6th Street for August 12th.
No, I don't. I know Jen has been meeting with Cassie from our place, and I'm not sure if that came up yesterday, Jen.
Briefly.
Okay, but I don't have anything to add.
I have some great historic images of dogs that lived at the hotel. If you could use those in your marketing, you're more than welcome to those.
That's awesome.
Sounds fun.
Yes.
Kevin projects.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Take care.
Absolutely. Gary, I'm sorry, I cut you off because we were hearing from,
I had a question like for restaurants, breweries, coffee shops that are playing music, they have to be licensed to play that.
so if you have a system, like I'll just use mine because it's the one I know about. I won't speak for anybody else, but what we paid for that a month covers our license. So we lease a sister rent, I don't know what it's called. It's called Mood by Pandora, and it's a commercial. There's 2,000 channels we can choose from, and it's all, and I pay like $57 a month for it or something. And then I get like a little tiny box that puts the satellite music into the place. So if you just like go like get your like iPod and a speaker, that's how old I am, and just play that, then that's that.
Your own playlist.
Yes, if you get your MP3 player.
Radio.
8-track.
That was the best.
I know.
You'd have to run because your song came on and you'd have to hold your tape recorder really close. Oh my God.
What?
These are the things I tell my kids and they're like, you're lying, Mom. So yes, so those are different.
I'm talking about live music, but yeah, that you have.
No,
to
but
have
that's a fair
professional-
question.
You're supposed to have a professional.
Yeah.
Yeah, what she does. You're supposed to have that if you run a restaurant or whatever.
Or anything.
Yeah.
If you're, anything that you're doing that you could be using someone's intellectual property that becomes part of your profit at some point, you have to carry a license for it. That's why I never do live music, because the BMI people stalked me for like 4 years and I was like, I am not
Because I
doing
play
this.
music in the store, but it's for my benefit. not
Yeah.
someone's
I don't think anyone's gonna throw you under the licensing bus. It's more people like me that do have a lot of people.
Right.
So I'll bring over my boom box.
Oh my gosh.
And I have this really awesome mixtape, we'll play it.
I'll hook up my Walkman to it.
Your CD Walkman. All right. Anyway, now we're getting goofy.
Pancakes.
Yeah.
So enlightenment, cake box.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I couldn't.
And then you have Steve getting really close to his camera. It's like, oh, this is great.
Well, on that, any feedback or any more ideas that come, please just shoot them my way, shoot them to me, email, or if you see me on the street or whatever. Just, I'm open to, everybody's open to whatever's gonna make this a cool event, but I think it's a good idea at a good time, and I'll have something more formal, I think.
If it's August, you could do like an ice cream social and get dog-friendly ice cream.
It's kind of like an ice cream social.
Okay, I like
That's a
that.
great
Yes,
I like that.
that's a very 80s term too.
Yeah, all right.
There will be face painting, I forgot to mention that.
Oh, that's
That's
cool.
very ice cream social, we need to start
Yeah.
Oh, just think that.
Yeah, I like
When your school shut down a parking lot and that.
Can someone
happened.
bring a sprinkler for them to run through?
Yeah, water balloon, be sure.
You'll have to check with the fire department first, I mean, that could be a water.
I will say, so this is super, we know the rec center has a dunk tank.
Oh,
They will loan you.
that's
Oh,
fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
It is freezing.
That's okay.
It is so, no, it's not
Fill
okay.
it up with Georgetown water.
It's awful.
There's like a fish, there's like a trout.
It's so
Down in the lake.
In the water, right out there.
absolutely awful. But what else do you have in your manager of
My
marketing events
manager, I
update?
don't know, I think that's my manager.
Your
Uh,
manager of marketing?
Yeah, report and chief postal meeting, so that's moving forward, marketing, photo contests, all that fun stuff. So working on that. Just want to mention Mustang Club, their proposals come up June 4th. I think that's what Mark Gomez and I have talked about. I don't know that
Steve,
Steve and looped in since then, but
are you in the Mustang Club conversation?
we haven't
I
had
feel
one
like
for
I
a
need to hold
while.
up a sign.
I haven't,
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, fun.
was there a question for me?
I'll email you.
Pay attention.
Yes, I asked if you have been
I-
involved in the Mustang Club conversation yet.
Not yet, no,
Okay.
sorry.
Um,
You will be.
If you wanna, yeah, since that's kind of was passed on to Steve as his baby courtesy of.
It's been a long time since the conversation, but I was just going through things that were on my list and June 4th was the date we talked about, so I'll loop Steve back in.
And let's just make sure that by the next meeting, all of the appropriate road closure permits and all of that stuff's been filed and organized.
Did you guys get, you probably didn't, but I have it downstairs, I just thought of it, the Clear Creek County special event calendar?
I did.
You
I
have
didn't
it?
get it.
Okay, that's good. I was just thinking, I can send that to you guys, so we are coordinating events.
That would be great, and I'm glad that you got it, that's
I mean, I
that's
can make
good.
copies of it right now. if you're interested, but-
I would honestly mind a copy, yeah.
Is that through, is that in partnership with the Clear Creek County Marketing
Oh,
Tourism Board?
Yes.
No, that is through Clear Creek County, what's her name, that approves all the special.
Oh,
events. Yeah.
Cindy Rushmeyer.
Yeah.
I should
Let me
rephrase.
talk about
I
that, 'cause I thought that pretty-
have
yeah.
been included on the meetings and I haven't made one yet because they're at a terrible time for me. But you've been going, right?
which means that's right.
The meetings with Cindy Rushmeyer. There's only been one. I'll find the date.
Okay.
It's like the worst time for me and I can't remember. It's
Is
like
that the Marketing Alliance or the Tourism Bureau?
the marketing.
Marketing Alliance?
No, it's the county permitting, the county
Yeah.
permit and marketing. I thought you were on the email, but maybe you weren't.
Is Cass on these emails? Because she should be.
Cass is definitely on there.
Okay.
But,
Because they should
I
be
mean,
on the
unless I
Clear Creek
missed
website, they should be on our website, and that's why I'm asking that.
yeah.
Yeah, but we have a person now in-house to.
No, for sure. Yeah, but like Cass.
No, but- right, for us.
Communication too,
Yeah, but my point is there are all these different marketing coalitions that are being formed all over the place, and we have a county.
This one
marketing
isn't a marketing coalition necessarily, it's
Yeah.
literally just a logistical planning meeting that occurs once a month that it's in conjunction also with the sheriff's department, EMS, the fire department, road and bridge for county and municipal operators, the mayors or police judges of each community, all three commissioners. It's basically a logistical thing to make sure like, okay, so like for things that maybe are not Georgetown specific, I'll use
Sure.
like the triple bypass, for example.
Yeah.
That's one of their, so they're aware of what we're doing, but they're not approving it, and it's more just like conversations, like how many people are we gonna get to the county? Do we need extra ambulances that day?
But I think it's a good resource for tourism and marketing. So if we have all of those things coordinated between the different groups, one's logistics, one's that, I think that it's important. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Might be nice to do that. I just want to make sure that it is, because I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so the last meeting,
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah, and I'll send you
so
some
much, Jen.
to see the calendar of the special events.
Can I get a digital version of this? And how do I get on this so that I can get a copy of it?
I can add.
I got this through the county, so Cindy Rushmeyer would be.
Okay.
Honestly, it would be great if someone else besides me could go to these meetings, because I can never go.
Well, I'm happy to go, I just didn't know.
Right? Does Randy go to them?
It's Randy and I think Lynette too.
Does she?
I feel like all three of us are on that email chain, but I've only gone to like 4.
I am not, but I'm happy to go in your place.
I just
So
think
there
this
was
is such a
only
great
one and it was,
It was for that bike race, right?
it was for the triple bypass and it was on March 17th.
But did they approve that Georgetown pendulum on July 16th?
See, I didn't even know that was on there and I feel really bad that I missed this. There will be another one, let's see, so the agenda is
I highlighted.
always the second Wednesday of each month, starting at 9 AM. So it will be next
Second
week.
Wednesday of the month at 9.
Yeah,
I don't need to be at the meeting. I just would like
So-
to have this for my business,
no, this is,
like the visitor
yeah, you
center.
should definitely be on there. I'm looking to see, let me see who's on there. Oh yeah, Silver Plume Clerk's on there. A bunch of Idaho Springs people. You're definitely not on there. Easter Seals, Georgetown Loop. I'll make sure you're forwarded on the next one. Cass,
I think our own events. marketing
Randy's on there
manager
and
should be
Lynette's on
attending
there.
those meetings.
Absolutely.
I think we.
But
need
yeah,
to make
I-
presentation.
So there's nothing going on August 12th, that's good.
that's good.
There's,
Oh, the marathon, the half marathon is the next day.
That's actually maybe kind of good timing, maybe.
I like when we do things.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I see that there is one thing on the fourth, the Rebel Rockies to Evergreen, but I don't see that really impacting the Mustang Club.
I feel like that's happened a
And
bunch.
it's kind of a good thing, because I think they both like to come up the first week, or that event and the Mustangs like to come up the first weekend in June.
Okay.
So wait, let's talk about the date here a second. We're saying August 12th for our, that's a Friday.
Maybe she meant August 13th when she proposed it.
I mean, we're not gonna have this big block party on a Friday.
I remember Veronica, I thought,
No.
did specifically mention the 12th.
She did, but she might have been, maybe she was looking at a calendar that was up and I didn't catch it. Oh, we'll clarify that.
We'll clarify. So it might be August 13th, but that's okay. That's a good catch.
Yeah.
Just say,
that's okay.
yeah, that.
Oh,
sec-
she was not looking at a Friday?
No, she was definitely looking at a Saturday from 11 to 4.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say the times. It's from 11 to 4.
On a date, TBD.
That's on a to be determined day.
Because that's a mountain jam state too, which is fine, it's perfect.
I like this, like I said, I like when we have lots of stuff going on, and it looks
So,
like
yeah,
full
I
and
agree.
fun in town.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
Just it's
Speaking of
coordination
mountain
thing.
jams, we should dedicate a little bit of time at the end. I know it didn't make the agenda, but
No, it's fine.
we'll just amend
I
that.
should talk about it.
What else do you have for your?
Just one thing to mention, we had a follow-up for the Clear Creek County Tourism Workshop that went on at, well, it was the first one, I think November, December. And it was a day-long strategy on the first day, so it was very festive. Where we talked about, just basically it was called it was titled Overloved, and it was a strategic planning workshop on sustainable tourism and just strategies for how to accomplish the balance between using funds to attract tourism to Clear Creek County, but also maintaining some type of sustainability in that venture. That's been a big conversation on the balance between those two things, so I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. I think there'll be actual updated written materials coming out as a sort of a follow-up to that. There were just sort of things were prioritized amongst the group that was present. It was pretty much anyone who had a stake in that subject, but in kind of what the group feels is important to move forward with the grant money that we received for that project. So that's just an update on that. I will have more when it becomes available.
Wait, I'm sorry, what grant money did you get for what project?
It's not us, but it's the Clear Creek County, it was a workshop through Clear Creek County Tourism.
And when did that happen?
I can't remember the date. Okay. It's my birthday.
I thought you
I did, I just wrote my birthday, but March 9th.
And Clear Creek County got a grant.
Clear Creek County has grant money, Cass can give you more information on exactly how that grant money looks and works, but this was just a workshop to work through the concept of sustainability in the tourism industry.
It's also an anticipation of the new law that probably will go through next year that allows towns to or counties to reappropriate the tourism dollars that used to be directed completely toward advertising and put them into side ventures. So it was basically a charrette to figure out how the stakeholders felt about how that should be directed if there's going to be a change within the county.
That's right, Paul is there. He can give you the good update too. So, oops, where did my update go? There it is. I think that was basically it for me, other than 4th of July and Georgetown Days, but that's coming down the pipeline on the agenda. Just keep directing people to the calendar. There's a ton of stuff on it. Any local businesses that want to put anything on there, there's some good stuff happening. I got some good information from Removing the Veil on their meditation series that they have going. Certainly anything that's happening at the old school, and Cabin Creek has 2 events this week that are on there. Today is Pint Day 2022.
Yeah, it's Pint Day. So that's why both breweries doing that. Steve, are you guys doing Pint Day? I don't know why I'm talking to him.
He's going out.
Sorry, that was loud.
I did meet with Cornell yesterday on their Kentucky Derby upcoming party, so that's another business event that we'll be promoting moving forward as soon as I have the details. There's a lot of local fun business stuff going on in town.
So there's a derby party? I wonder if people could get their hats at the Gateway Visitor Center.
Oh my
I think we
gosh.
should advertise that.
Oh my
Right,
God.
That would be amazing.
I
I'm gonna put
wonder.
it on the calendar, add that too.
And you
Get
mentioned
your
the
hat.
old school. I wonder if they're having a brass quintet from Denver
Wonder.
Brass this Saturday, starting
I
at 6
wonder.
p.m.
They
I
are,
Music
wonder.
at
also
7.
on my calendar, but yeah.
Or a ribbon cutting when they become the old school.
When we start releasing the
Deja
change of
vu
our
all
name back to
over
what
again.
it was. Yeah,
I
that would
can
be
use the
great.
connect.
Anyway.
So, moving
But
on.
yes, there's
Since I
lots of-
have no idea what Steve's doing. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Steve.
I thought he was the one that.
Can you hear us,
had the
Steve?
Doesn't seem like it.
All right, anyway.
Write kind days on a piece of paper and hold that.
I know, right? Hold it up like that. Okay, Memorial Day weekend, Georgetown days. So we only have 2 meetings left between now and then to get all of the details buttoned up for Georgetown days. The pancake breakfast, pardon?
This is April.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
I hate to, like,
Thanks.
I have panicked about that this morning.
This is the second meeting.
this is the first.
Yeah, this is the first harvest.
Pardon me.
This is one of 2.
Okay.
I'll help with pancake breakfast.
All right,
I
pancake
think I'd
breakfast.
like to help with the pancake breakfast too.
I will welcome
I thought
all of
that
you to
was
help for
fun.
pancake
I'll
breakfast.
take
I
my
thought that was
favorite
fun.
and them again.
Okay.
Unless-
So I want to talk a little bit about starting with pancake breakfast. I had kind of put the notion of using Strauss Park out of my head, thinking it was going to be a construction zone. Is
I would
it?
still put it out of your head.
I think we can use can we use the grassy area?
I
grassy
hesitate,
knoll?
maybe, but I hesitate to, like, I feel like we need a backup just in case it doesn't
I don't think it's good.
clean upable and will look, I mean, that's still gonna go. It's not a word, I know. It can be cleaned up in an appropriate way to actually want to host it. I don't know. I mean, there is plenty of that grassy area and I think the construction, because all that will happen up to that point is demolition behind that fence.
Well, couldn't we use the library?
There's no
park?
electricity though.
So my first thought was Library Park.
Yeah, because we could expand over into it, and then if we need to, we could use the patio probably. I mean, I have to ask permission.
There will not be.
But you know the other
then-
side,
Yeah.
and just take over the sidewalk.
Well, the generator, but otherwise, the park's totally
So-
void of electricity now.
Electricity is not necessarily.
Well, we
an
won't know
issue
the library
because
park, so
we-
Strauss Park's in, go move across the street.
So the griddle was on a propane grill.
That's what I thought, yeah.
So that we rented, that was no big deal.
And we used Steve's oven at the
And we
brewery.
used, and I think, okay, so I'm gonna text Steve and tell him
Pay attention.
to listen.
Wait up, Steve.
I'm like, cause if we could use the kitchen at Silver Brick, then
Oh,
Yeah,
Then
that might be.
we could cook everything else over there.
Could it?
And there's a
Karen
window,
just asked me, but I
too.
don't know,
I'm so
'cause
sorry, I
didn't-
didn't hear.
Well, he mostly just asked me, but I'm just gonna say it loudly. I didn't see it last year, so I'm not visualizing like how big it looked, like if we just moved it into library,
It would
if that was
fit.
That's gonna fit
acceptable.
fine, yeah,
It would
it's not a big deal.
it'll be tighter, but it'll fit.
But it would
Yeah,
work.
it'll.
Yeah, that seems like the most easiest, then we can play with,
Yeah.
you know, which space we
The
want.
library and the
What
community.
if,
Yeah,
okay,
you could go all the way, and then there's that patio on the,
Yeah.
in the, also the library. I'm sure we can get permission to use that.
I'm in the weirdest spot, thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what I'd
Like,
say.
I forget I have a bloody nose.
That's what I'm
This morning.
proposing.
Give you a few.
Thank you, appreciate that. Excuse me. Sorry, don't have a book.
No,
Sorry, everybody. It's really awkward on Zoom. Okay, one thought that just crossed my mind for spatial reasons, but I realize it's also maybe not an ideal time. Should we want to talk about actually closing between Rose and Fifth? And then we could put extra tables out in the street? Thoughts?
Doesn't that take away from the whole idea of Guanella Pass is open?
Well, maybe we can like,
Hmm.
Sixth Street.
What about
I was thinking
Sixth?
the same thing.
What about
Center
Fifth,
Library.
what about Fifth Street, like how they close it off for the golf outing in June?
Behind
On
it.
the side of Guanella Pass?
That's one of the proposed vending
Well, then you
spots.
use the community
FYI.
center
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
and that little courtyard
Yeah.
with the library.
They can do it on 6th Street.
Oh, do it in between
Or
and kind
just
of like
use
make
that
it.
whole area somehow.
So maybe the libraries are best like base now. we can, I'm sure Steve's not responding to me, so I'm
Yeah,
just gonna.
I think he stepped out of the room.
Library Park expands if you go all the way out to the curb.
Yeah,
And then, like, there is that library courtyard that's just beyond, and like Mary was saying, we could just take over the whole sidewalk portion of it,
Yeah.
the library.
I
And that's
mean,
all
I think that's
paved
a
and
good
everything.
spot, and then as long as we're. Wow.
That must be that spot, because before the new chairs got here, there was that problem over there.
I didn't think the new chairs would do that, but okay.
Yeah, Paul was going back and all of a sudden somebody else disappeared. It's like, what? So I think for now, let's plan on library park. We can have a discussion about the potential of a road closure if we feel like it's going to warrant it. I'm not sure warrant it, honestly.
I don't think it's big enough to justify.
It's a totally localized event, although last year, there was a lot of people that just showed up and it was like really
It was
cute
so
and
random.
fun.
Yeah, it was like all of a sudden. we were really-
And the Wienermobile was there.
That's right, the Wienermobile came, that was so
Have we
weird.
ordered the good weather yet?
I have
I
not
don't.
ordered the good weather yet.
It was beautiful.
Okay.
So you guys are all with help, right?
Yeah.
And we'll do what we did last year. I would like to potentially see if I could find someone to help sponsor the food, but, cause it's,
Yeah.
but if we can't, then that's not a big deal. But as far as the operations go, and do we need to do anything to get library stage?
I'll just talk to Louis
You can
today.
talk to him,
Yeah.
okay.
And that would be a covered area.
That would be
Yeah.
perfect, and then we'll have,
Yeah.
and then people can kind of wander around and the one thing is there is a slight possibility, and Dustin was supposed to let me know, he might be gone.
No.
Oh, he might be on it. He usually goes to the Philippines.
He might be in the Philippines,
But
but
you leave Parker?
he would
I
not.
mean, we don't, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we
yeah,
see
I
Mark.
would.
I think Lisa and Ryan
Lisa
would
watches
watch
him.
Or
So-
Maverick can stand in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Lisa
we'll,
baby.
Well, to say that's it's Maverick.
they're like,
need you.
they're like, except their dog is not nearly as calm and walking as your dog.
Parker's been working out over spring.
Yeah.
Or like groomed
Yeah,
every 2
yeah.
days.
Parker's on steroid.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, I think, so that's a great plan as far as the pancake breakfast goes.
I like the idea of it being 6th Street visible. I think it's important. 5th Street's great, but I think it's
I
important to
agree.
keep stuff 6th Street visible as much as we can. And if we can get the library to work with us. The only thing would be is if they had a children's activity that day on that plan, but I don't think they do.
Okay. Do you guys mind, since you did it last year, ordering the ribbon?
Yeah, totally. I think I even have those giant scissors in my garage.
That's perfect.
So I'll get,
ribbon.
huh?
We might have leftover.
I think we have leftover ribbon. I have like a list of all the things that I bought for that event.
Perfect.
And I can just like send it to you and then I'll let you know what I still have.
And then if we can, so the proceeds from this benefit the Clear Creek County Veterans Coalition. So
Yeah.
all of the collateral for the pancake breakfast.
Yeah.
And last year the donation was, we should get that amount from Mary,
Wasn't
but
it?
I think it was almost $1,000.
It
was
was
like
$800
$9,
or something.
It was like
800?
a high eights.
it was
yeah.
like high 800s, yeah.
So we should
Clear
start.
Creek County Veterans Coalition?
We were
pushing that out on
so
social
busy.
media.
Big
Sounds
time.
great.
Great
For it.
day.
It was awesome.
It was such a good
It was
day.
awesome.
It was, I was so stoked. when
Yeah,
everything
it
came
went
out.
really well
So,
the
yeah,
first
it's a really cool event, so.
Perhaps we could use the community center if in fact the order for great weather doesn't come in, so
Yeah.
people have an inside place to dine on pancakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a nice.
No,
backup.
so we'll have,
We'll have to call and reserve that, which, you know.
Is that Diane?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's Mark. So do you mind, Jen, just putting it on your agenda to call Diane Lee and see if we can get the community center as backup spot?
Does Diane do it?
No,
I think
you know.
so.
Is it Mark or Diane?
I think Jamie did.
I just called in for the community center, that there's a phone number, you call it and then they tell you.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so then, Memorial Day weekend, we've got the Georgetown Day, Saturday is the Furrow Race.
he wants
I
to.
see. It's fine, that ship has sailed. We're using your entire space to cook sausages and you're just gonna have to deal with it.
I don't think you will hear you.
I know.
That's-
He's so.
What
This is like a
time is
theme
what
right
time
now.
is the ribbon cutting on Friday?
Wasn't it 8 AM?
No, I think we did it later. We did it at 10.
Oh, it started at 8.
The breakfast started at 8
11.
and went till, which we could shorten
We could
that.
shorten it. It was like everyone was starting to fade out around 10.
Yeah, we used to,
10.
Yeah.
and we'll do the ribbon cutting, say 9:30.
9:30.
Yeah, 9:30. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, last year we did the ribbon cutting at 10.
Yeah.
And it was cool because like they sent over, like the sheriff's department
Yeah.
came and we had our police
Lynette
there.
was there.
Lynette
Yeah, we
was
should
there.
I mean, we have to promote it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one thing, I haven't noticed any social media stuff being on our social media.
Okay,
Yeah.
We need to put some
So-
banners up.
I'll work on some collateral and stuff, and then the Georgetown Days logo, if you want to start doing some posts for that.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's on the calendar currently, but I'll start
Yeah,
posting it social media wise, now that we have more of the details kind of figured out.
and we'll also probably want to do a press release at some point. With Parker.
Yes.
Who translates with Harvard?
Dustin.
Yeah.
So you do need Dustin.
Yeah. We
Just
do
in
need
advance of it, we don't need them then.
that. The Philippines can wait.
Okay, so are we good for pancake breakfast questions? I feel like we've got a pretty good plan going into it, and if anybody else wants to help that day.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll be there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Let's see.
Saturday's borough race, do you have any updates on borough race?
Those meetings have been a little discombobulated with the weather knocking out the Wi-Fi and having to be rescheduled, so I got some little updates from the last one. And haven't received a notification for the next meeting. I know right now we're pretty shy participants.
That happens every year. I think.
That's what I'm told, but they're in a panic a bit. I'm waiting for their marketing.
weird.
Some emails I've got, there've been a few emails that have gone around just sort of, but there's been repeated asks for marketing material also that have not been answered.
As far as your obligation, and this is purely my opinion, anyone else feel free, I don't think you are obligated to promote the entire borough race. Like, I mean, they have we should definitely promote the tourists
Right.
coming. What were you gonna say? But I don't need to promote participants.
Go ahead,
I have both of the things that we texted.
Okay, I do have something to say, like, one thing, I understand there's not that many participants, but just as an FYI, if you could bring it up at the meetings. In the past, when they come back sporadically, obviously, it gets to be, you probably see it, a cluster at the roundabout.
That's
Yeah,
why
I put that.
We need a traffic controller.
I put that
so
on.
I did that last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And so, yeah, go ahead.
And the second thing I just wanna say is, it would kind of be cool, I mean, if it is becoming a bigger thing, to have something, when the people come back, make it a fun thing, you know?
So,
It's like they just, they leave, they start here, they leave, they come back, but then it's like nothing.
Totally
Okay,
agree.
get my
It's like they
card.
forgot about it,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
or the Georgia forgot about it.
Yeah.
So based on our conversation, Jen and mine yesterday, those are two items I put on to bring up at the next meeting
What is
is,
your next meeting?
I don't know, they
They didn't-
schedule
they
them
didn't
like 24 hours in advance,
I
at
know,
6
it's
o'clock at
like-
night, you're like, wait.
They postpone them too. like,
Yeah.
they move them all.
Yeah, so then they look around and you're like, oh wait, not everybody's like here at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night.
Yeah, no.
So I haven't received it, but I'm sure it'll be short notice, I'm planning it on some Wednesday soon.
Yeah.
My favorite was I had one that they were like, okay, guys, we can all meet in 10 minutes, right? And I was like,
Right.
I'm in my car.
I was the
Yeah.
same thing. I was like, no, I'm driving home.
Can't do that.
Totally.
Or in the last one with the weather, they just kept postponing it like every 30 minutes, until like finally at 8 o'clock, they're like, maybe not, maybe tomorrow.
You're kidding me.
So I don't know, but I thought John's ideas were very good and valid, and it sounds like traffic control you did last year is a thing we need to bring up. And I do think a finishing activity for the whole Georgetown Days part of it,
Yeah.
to keep that festivity going, even if it's a small scale, I don't know what that looks like.
Jen, am I imagining this? Didn't it at one point, wasn't there like a beer tent downtown somewhere? Like, I swear, or am I thinking of Slacker?
I think it's Slacker.
It's-
Yes, Slacker has it.
Yeah.
We tried one for the Sheep Festival one year, it was so cold that nobody drank beer. I remember that.
That's just.
Well, and what time does the race usually end?
Yeah.
It depends, the
Right.
race ends anytime between like, it's like
last
the cable
car-
guy.
Yeah.
Like the last person rolls in about 3.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Let's get that guy a beer.
yeah.
Didn't we do Georgetown Days on Friday?
So pancake breakfast was Friday.
Yeah, Slacker was Saturday.
Slacker
was
Saturday. We
Saturday.
call the whole
No,
weekend.
No,
Georgetown.
early Saturday.
You're
Borough
saying
race.
Friday, Borough race is Saturday,
Yeah, the whole weekend, okay.
and Sunday is,
Georgetown Business Day, which we'll get to.
So when those people come off those races, right, like anybody who comes in a race, they don't tend to want to hang out that much is part of it.
I do
You wanna
think,
get lunch and stuff.
yeah, I mean, I think we definitely should look at trying to do something somewhere.
Don't be mean.
It just
You
needs
have
to be
music.
outside. As an endurance athlete of my own, I don't wanna go in any establishment when I finish any kind of endurance race. But do I wanna eat and socialize and feel a sense of community and pride and blah, 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 and all those fun things?
Talk
that
to
we
the
can
racers.
Tell racers about how horrible it was and how great we are because we're not dead. That's like a huge thing that we like to do.
Yeah.
So anything that we could have for people to gather outside, I think would be awesome. I don't know, the only thing I don't know, because I don't know a lot about borough races, but what they do with the borough.
Yeah.
Remember,
We'll need a donkey daycare.
all their
Try to donkey daycare on it.
all their
Well,
trailers
Have a
have
designated area where they can all park
They can't
and
take
gather
them.
and have it figured out.
So, okay, the one thing about the borough race is unique. Okay, it's right, all right, I'm trying to picture. Is the course the same this year?
Yes,
So they're finishing in front of the Hotel de Paris, right?
that is my understanding.
Right here.
They finish in 6, yeah.
So because of the situation with Strauss, what if we looked at doing something in this parking lot?
Or Kevin.
This isn't our.
Or
problem.
Kevin's.
It should be.
Oh, that's right, that's not.
This isn't ours.
So maybe we.
Excel, I don't think would mind, and I'm sure that, and Mike Huggins owns the other part down there now.
But if you
It'd be
do,
an option.
if you do Kevin's, it pulls the people closer to the 6th Street businesses rather than being cut off. That has an emotional cutoff if we try to use this.
Or at least the boroughs,
It's kind of there.
they need to park their trailers there, and they have a park their boroughs a lot of stuff.
A lot of the borough trailers, I feel like, end up on Argentine. Like,
Yeah,
and then, so there's threefold things here. So first is trying for, probably your primary, trying to find a spot for an activity and what that would look like.
Yep.
And seeing, the borough race is technically a nonprofit, so if we wanted to look at doing a beer tent, and they could, but they would be eligible, right, for a liquor permit? They're
If
nonprofit.
they're a nonprofit organization, yeah.
Yeah, so they're nonprofit. So we could find somewhere to try and put a beer tent or something and then look at some food vending options potentially. That's just
Sure.
one idea. The
I like
second
that.
piece is the volunteer piece, which is honestly probably the least concerning, but you would need to get to the Rotary because the Rotary supplied all the volunteers last year.
Don't forget the
Duty
food
draw.
Right.
I was,
Oh, yeah.
it's coming, that was my next
Oh.
thing is the food drop.
Did they ever get that app going, or is it just gonna go back to?
Yeah, apparently now they have it.
Nice,
Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, so.
That's nice.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Give some options.
it's still gonna have a comment about your tent.
Okay,
I don't know.
gotta have.
I just keep waving at him and he keeps staring.
He keeps yelling.
Yeah.
I mean, couldn't we close off 6 and have vendors and then just when they come back, then boom,
I think so.
everybody's here.
Yeah.
I think that would be, and then you said that's a Mount James Day, right?
Yeah, is it, how hard is it, but that's whatever time we can figure out, but how hard is it to close off 6? Because we used to have a bunch of pushback every time we tried to close off a street.
I mean, we could ask, I don't
The
know.
feedback I got from Randy yesterday was, he likes it when we close 6th Street. People like it when we close 6th Street.
Yeah.
Except
Just like it when we close the whole 6th Street.
it's,
and
we
you
have
don't
a
do
couple of
some
people
weird
that,
thing.
just don't close it for an entire summer.
Right, or
Well,
close
yeah,
out,
not- yeah,
or close
not
out
now.
pieces of it, or close off side streets that he doesn't like, but if it's just 6 from wherever to wherever, all of 6th Street, then I got basically a thumbs up in the meeting yesterday that was how he would like it.
They just
Yeah.
don't like to
Yeah.
close
Yeah.
off 2 in
Yeah.
front of the
Yeah.
hotel, which they should close off the whole 6. They're gonna.
I mean, obviously, people can want their boroughs back to their borough trailers and then come.
They have to
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Right, I mean,
I want the
But those
boroughs to
guys
be
would like
with
to
them.
see the boroughs.
If
I
they
remember
wanted
them
to,
doing
then I
that
think
in
they
the
should
past,
do it.
you know.
The boroughs are bitching, so again.
The boroughs are fun.
and then maybe they'll be tired by then, so they'll be, you know,
I
complacent.
did say bitching, and I was taken back to 1973.
So, but, so
Okay, so
definitely,
let me
and then,
work on that a little bit,
perfect.
Santee, California.
And then the last piece of borough race stuff, I will try to be on the next meeting to curb any Georgetownness that might occur.
I
Literally.
love that we're just
1974.
inventing words today.
We are. Do you want to talk about food truck?
Call of Duty.
Call to duty?
Call to
I
duty.
apologize. I do not mean to decimate the sacred event by
He's like,
referring to
"Duty."
it incorrectly.
Don't call it out for the shit it is.
It wasn't so bad now.
I wanted to take the pressure off of this. So as you know, Rotary sponsors or hosts Call to Duty. It's a fundraiser for Rotary scholarships for the youth of Clear Creek County. I'm speaking as a Rotary person now, I'm not Rotary. But there is going to be an app. They will be putting, or an app so that you can purchase squares, 3 foot or 3 by 3 foot squares, 9 square feet of prime space along 6th Street. There will be an app where you can purchase your squares. Once the race takes off, the square with the largest amount of duty.
I'm gonna buy the whole block.
You could.
Where does it happen?
Maybe.
How much is a square?
I believe it's $20 a square, but don't quote me.
I thought it
on
was
that.
10.
Don't quote me, don't quote me. I'm just speaking on behalf of what I vaguely recall. So anyway, so Rotary will be putting together some flyers and everything to hang around in the different establishments in town. This year's, the profits are going to be divided between the Borough Association and Rotary, but the anticipation is that because it's so accessible through the app, that they should be able to generate more, or, you know, at least similar to what Rotary was able to pull in before. They'll make the determination shortly after the boroughs pass and make the turn on to Argentine, because of course then the street will need to be cleaned up. And, you know, so just envision all these little people cleaning the street and all that, you know. However, perhaps one of the things that we should do is that borough waste is good for gardening.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, where are you going with this?
I don't know, maybe we could market it. So, and they'll have some kind of a tent canopy set up to be able to generate some extra attention, to be selling squares up until a short period of time before the race actually starts. 2 years ago, when they were able to do it, they did like a cornhole, but with little, you know, like little furry, you know,
The
squares, yeah. And
Croutons.
yeah, croutons. So there were some other.
Every time we
little
talk
things
about this
that-
event for 2
No one
months,
takes
it's
I
just.
know. But how can you?
No, you can't, you
I
can't.
don't think you're supposed to.
No.
But I believe the prize for the square that wins with the most crap in it, we'll make sure we use every word possible
Yes.
here, okay? I think that the winner takes away like $500.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the rest of the proceeds,
Yeah.
rest of the proceeds go to, now the Borough Association and then, Clear Creek Rotary.
Okay.
All right, well, that's where, I'm sorry, where is the actual drop? I missed that. Is it gonna be on 6th Street?
Well, it all depends on how many boroughs shit along the street. Because the square with the largest one, thank you, because we hadn't used defecate.
No, you're not used to
Yeah, the square with the largest amount of,
Is it by weight or volume?
they do weigh it.
If you have never seen Robert Smith holding a scale, scooping, it is like the most, and they're like all out there staring at it, and it's like, there's like a panel.
You can hear a pin drop.
Yeah. So they will actually mark all the squares on because that too encourages people who are not familiar with it as they're coming
Yeah.
through town in the morning or whatever. What are all these squares for? But they'll be taped off this year as opposed to years back where you have painted.
They should do it like a week in advance almost to promote it.
Yeah.
you know?
The what?
Do it like a week in advance or something to promote it. you
I
know?
think that the lines would come up.
Oh, sure.
Remember when they
For a couple
painted,
days.
remember when they painted it? a
We all,
couple years ago?
oh my gosh, that was the
I was
best.
just thinking about that.
Yeah,
The time that they
I'm not
painted
sure the
it.
tape would quite, but I mean, it.
They painted it on
Maybe a day or
accident.
maybe before.
It was in like a section.
Maybe like,
I know.
what,
Yeah.
6th Street?
It was wild.
Something to promote it. They used to do like a square.
Yeah, that's like
I don't know.
All right, well, this is very exciting. Definitely on our next agenda, we'll put Memorial Day first, so we can give it as much attention as possible. Because it's obviously a lot, but we should be able to, you can start finalizing some marketing stuff for that. And then if you need me to help back up Borough Race stuff, as far as like volunteer solicitation and being on those meetings, I can make that a priority. Because I know how those meetings can get, Katie can attest. They're all great people, but it's like, ooh, shiny.
Totally.
Like,
The
Yeah.
one cool thing that I seen out of that is the socks, if you've seen the socks.
So the Borough Racers this year, they're part of their entry fee is they actually get these really nifty borough themed socks.
They
Like
say run
knee-
your ass off.
They say, yeah,
Awesome.
they're knee-high socks, they
I
run
like
your ass
that.
up. They're really cool, actually, so.
They look like this, not that everyone can kind of see, but they got them out.
Wow, that's nice.
But they'll be knee highs instead of.
Oh, so are those thigh highs?
They're knee-high socks.
Knee highs.
They're pretty cool.
That's funny.
Hold on to them until August and you can wear them again for
Yes.
dog day.
I know, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Make
and then
leggings out of them.
there is, so people are aware, the rec center is actually teaching a borough race class.
Like how to race with the borough?
Yes, it's
Wow.
actually a training for locals, if any locals want to do the borough race.
The class is full.
Is
There
it?
is a wait list. There will be 12 more participants than we have on record right now. But yeah, that's it.
The participant thing happens every year.
Okay,
And
we'll worry
that's definitely not your purview. Don't sweat that. Just, I would, to keep your focus on Georgetown specific stuff.
Yes.
I remember last year at this time, everyone was like, oh my God, and we ended up having,
You were
on registration.
like, they used to keep it to 75 boroughs.
we had 100 last year. didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's always.
Since you did registration, right?
And I was only focused on the Georgetown participant.
Exactly.
Part of it is which we only had 3, so I didn't want it to be lopsided. But if it happens all the time, I will not worry about that.
I don't remember us last year at this time having like 50 participants. It was a very light, the race fills up as it gets closer.
Remember, this is an international event. Seriously.
It really is.
But Georgetown in the past has been a qualifying event for what happens later in the season, just like you have to qualify for the Boston Marathon.
What?
Yes,
That's
so, the people
It's
take
qualifying.
that part very seriously.
Okay. I will not worry about that piece of it. But yeah, the rec center part of it's really cool. You can pay like $220 and you get to learn how to, and you get to rent a borough. Like if I didn't have to be there, I would totally be all over it.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds awesome. But
And as far as like volunteers go, I actually went through last year, and I helped place the volunteers with their suggestions. So we had volunteers on 6th Street. We had volunteers in between on Argentine, roundabout, volunteers under the bridge, like on the other side of the bridge, like where the trailer park is. And I think that they wanted us to put one a little bit up the road. And so the big one is you gotta have traffic control you have to have people in the roundabout, you have to have people in the bend on 6th Street.
when I bring that traffic control piece to them, are we looking for a volunteer traffic control or like a law enforcement traffic control?
It was me last year, so
Okay.
I am definitely not law enforcement. So I did have a nice orange vest.
Suggestion.
I did not get the walkie-talkie.
Can I?
That's a 4th of July.
That's only on 4th of July if I get the police radio.
Can I make a quick suggestion as far as traffic control? When those boroughs come down Argentine when they're first starting, in boroughs, and this is why you go to the class if you've never raced with a borough before. They tend to, even though only one lane is blocked off, because we're assuming they're going northbound on Argentine, they're not. The boroughs are all over the place,
Yeah.
so traffic has to be stopped and pulled over as much as possible. Because unfortunately, our drivers that are coming through here are not moving for the boroughs, and these poor racers and animals, it
It's really-
it needs to
it's
be
super
shut down
stressful.
at that, at the start.
Totally.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
And then you see super confused tourists in like a red fleet plate car, like, why is there a donkey here?
Why is there 30 of them?
Why are there?
and they do, the boroughs will end up going between some of the cars, and the runners
They go
are
to
trying to
trees.
control them, and get them back on course. They don't like the yellow lines. I mean, it's a situation.
Maybe we should put up a banner saying borough race on this date, so people know what's going on.
It's,
We need some banners.
Yeah.
I would like, I mean, yeah, no, I think the problem is where, yes, you're right, we should maybe put up a banner, but we could look at putting it in your place, but like, is it gonna be too little too late when they pull into town and they're like, borough race, oh, it's what? And it,
Right here.
you know? But I think, yeah, no, it's true.
You can put banners on the town of Georgetown sign that's sitting in our grass, or actually our dirt patch, whatever, in the front. On the street, it's designed to hold a banner underneath it.
I mean, maybe we should honestly just do a Georgetown
do a
Days banner
larger
at this point,
banner.
let's order that.
Okay,
And we can include on there like borough race Saturday. But let's get that ordered pretty soon.
Okay.
Okay, and then the last piece of Memorial Day is the light one, so
The
business days.
yep, and I'm gonna start, so I mentioned it to, when I did my PR visits to all businesses, and I'm gonna start with Katie's idea of spotlighting, a countdown, spotlighting businesses leading up from here to.
What happened?
He's muted.
Yeah.
Well, but no, I don't know, something just happened.
Oh, something
Yeah,
changed.
I heard.
Sorry.
He was like,
Distracted.
yeah, it's okay.
Steve, blink once if you're trying to talk.
He did like that. Or maybe he's not.
Is Steve having a meeting or is it someone downstairs?
I think it's
Steve,
police.
Somebody be upstairs.
Oh, okay. Bummer.
Check your phone.
So awesome.
Yeah, it's downstairs.
This is like when your like Graham gets on Facebook and posts something in all caps, happy birthday, Joni, like, you know, that's kind of.
Or it's like the phone sideways.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's sitting there if he can't hear us.
So just looking back at the business day stuff that we talked about in the minutes, have you had any conversations with Sam, Diane, about the portable tournament or anything yet?
No. I think about that for a second, because I talked to her about a lot of things. And yesterday was one of those days. I will see her today, so I will actually talk to her about that. I don't think that's gonna be any kind of a big deal, though. They have plenty of boards, it's just a matter of setting the tournament. Location wise,
That's where I'm at, so yeah.
that could be a questionable situation, which I didn't think of until just now, but we might be the grassy area, maybe just fine to use it. I just don't wanna, all I don't want is just to like draw people to a big mess.
Yeah.
That's my only concern with that. I mean, I'd love to keep it here on Sixth Street, so it draws people to the businesses, not that there are only businesses on Sixth Street, of course.
No, but that's
But that's where the main draw for that would be. I will be doing, if you didn't hear me, because we're doing the Steve thing, that leading up to starting Friday, I will be spotlighting a different business. As kind of a countdown to build up that day on social media, website, all of that. So that's part of it. But I will think of, unless anybody has great ideas, but what do you think about the cornhole tournament in South Park, I guess is where I would start.
I think let's start the planning for a cornhole tournament in, as much as I hate to make the location TBD, maybe we'll have a better handle next month. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
I mean, if
We need to find out when the demo is gonna happen.
I know, and that's
We have
what's,
they just got their permit yesterday,
It is mine.
so
We have a giant park.
we just need to hear from Bob when it's.
It's just
gonna
away
happen.
from everything.
It is my understanding it's going to start next week. That is what was discussed in the meeting, is that the demo will absolutely begin next week. Now, what day, I don't know, but he is talking about, I mean, they're kind of started, and he took the power down, taking the lights down, but the actual like tearing down of the stalls themselves, my understanding is it will be next week. So maybe I just need to talk to him about what mess is that gonna look like by Memorial Day? Is that grassy area going to be usable in a way that doesn't look?
Do you have any insight?
No, I don't,
Oh.
not much more than that. I do know she's correct on the schedule. I guess my thought was just that they're gonna start next week, then by this time, they actually may have partially work done, it's expensive, they go back, and they open up a more larger portion of Strauss Park, I don't know.
The fence is easy to move. I mean, that was a big topic of conversation.
Yeah, I guess
in the meeting.
My thing, when you talk about
Hey, Jen.
pancake breakfast, I just wouldn't want everybody being involved.
They're
Jennifer,
teaching
Jennifer,
that.
I'm sorry. I just noticed, I'm sorry, I should notice this. Is there anything in the chat that needs to be read? I didn't notice.
The only chat I sent out is twice because.
Oh, was that you?
the First, that was me.
Okay, never mind, sorry, I
And
didn't-
Kelly's gone now, so
Okay.
I was trying to ask him if he wanted to.
Oh, Kelly,
baby, yes.
Oh.
But he's gone now.
Okay.
Talking about the actual.
Oh, it's probably about Alpine Hose.
That's what I was thinking. Here, you said new flag in hand will be raised at the end of this current high wind period storm.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
you must have it.
All right, so, sorry, I didn't mean to divert, I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't
Thank you
something in the
for
chat, that
noticing.
there was, needed to be brought to the record now. So as far as, let's plan on the cornhole tournament, and then I think next meeting we'll narrow down location.
I think I'll have it, I
think that was a really good
same
idea.
way,
Yeah.
yeah. Where I think it should be based on the info I get from Bob, and when we see what that demo looks like. But cornhole tournament will be done.
And also, if you can send out the correspondence now that we're a little bit closer to any home-based businesses about the offer that we have, that they can come for that day, no fees. We're good with that still, the conversation, okay. No fees and set up a tent or promote themselves somehow, so.
If we're closing 6, can't you do the beanbag toss on 6th Street?
I don't know if we were gonna close it Sunday.
I see.
This was, the potential for us to close it would be Friday.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't know how everyone will feel if we close it multiple days that weekend.
But we're not gonna close it Friday, are we, for the pancake break?
I think we're still deciding.
Okay.
Right now, I don't think so, so maybe we could look at closing it Sunday.
Yeah.
But
There's nothing wrong with, why don't we just use City Park for that one? Is it because it's too far from the businesses?
I think that's kind of a thought.
Any other time, I would totally be for that, but because it's business days, maybe we need to keep it closed, I don't know.
That's true.
Open it.
Well,
That's
there
kind
is
of
the, there's the Alpine, that other restaurant.
I don't know.
Fair enough, only businesses on 16.
But it's 6th Street we're drawn to.
Okay.
I want those businesses figured out by then, let's just say that.
And then the
Just,
actual
I'm texting
Memorial Day
Yeah, I was gonna
celebration.
say Memorial Day.
Yeah, keep going.
Memorial Day.
What are we coordinating for Monday's event with the veterans for the actual Memorial Day?
Jennifer, doesn't Troy usually coordinate like just the basic?
We have to reach out to him and let
Yeah.
him know we want that.
It was Troy last year.
That'd be
And
good.
he like
Yes,
just
just
had it all figured out, okay.
Can you fill me in on that a little bit? I
And
remember
contact, I
doing-
need to contact him in enough time because it.
Like, because otherwise we don't get a
He was
color.
at Rose Springs and
Yeah.
he worked, so he told me that the year I did it. So glad you contacted me early because now you got me.
I vaguely remember that happening, but I wasn't here for it, and I had minimal participation in the organization, so can someone just fill me in?
I think if you look in your email, the
Yeah.
town of Georgetown email, the events one, his name's Troy. Is it
Erickson.
Erickson?
Troy Erickson.
Yeah.
Oh, Erickson, I know who he is,
Yeah.
I'm looking for the 4th of
I'm
July.
gonna send an email right now, just connecting.
Yeah,
you two.
so I just flashed your emailed him and I said.
Well, what does he do? I mean, what does he do as it
He's
relates
like
to Memorial?
Veterans Coalition or something?
Yeah, but what does he do on Memorial?
He does the ceremony,
With
the,
the flag
Okay, that's
and
what
Well, if he's available,
If
since
he's-
when I did it for those 2 years, he was never actually physically here.
basically
And he
that.
coordinates
Was he
people.
there when you did it?
I wanna say yes.
Okay.
I wanna
So
say.
we have to contact him early.
Was he there last year? All I remember about that was you and I wanting to make sure the flag was raisable, but that was about it. Was he, did he?
You need to contact him.
Yeah,
I will.
Was he there last
So I'm emailing him
I
right
wasn't-
now,
I don't
Jen.
think I was there last year.
I wasn't either. He
Yeah.
has information.
I'm sure I have his email because we
I'll
worked
Send it
together,
all to you.
I can.
because he was gonna do the color guard he
Yeah.
does that, right? He's the guy who does the 4th of July.
What normally happens, Jen,
Yes,
is
thank you.
like Lynette, as the police judge, will give a speech. But you have to reach out to these people, and then you have to find other people, you kind of have to create the event, I mean, that's what I did.
That's fine, I just didn't know anything about it.
Yeah,
There's Lynette's friend, what's that lady's name that played the trumpet?
yeah.
And then Keith's wife played the organ, I mean, this is stuff, You have to reach out to them, we can give you the name and numbers, but.
Did you
Was
just?
that Pam McCoy?
Yeah, Pam McCoy.
Pam McCoy plays
And
the.
then what's Keith's
Yeah.
wife name? Norma.
Norma
Norma plays.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to
I
be,
think
those
you do,
people
because
maybe burn out on doing it.
I was gonna ask if we had a tick sheet.
Yeah.
Why, this is why we fix this.
I know.
I'm listening. We're all listening. There's a lot happening.
I mean, this is when we talk outside this.
Okay.
And we're
These are
back.
the people you have to contact instead of, yeah.
So I will send you a contact list if you
I
have some
think
notes.
I have most of these
Okay.
people's contacts, but it's more just for me, I didn't know anything about that piece of it.
Yep, super fair.
So it sounds like it's.
It's
We
not
could do
an-
it like today,
It's not an
but
elaborate event,
Right.
but it's a very important
it's an
event
emotional,
for them
nice
to
thing to
commemorate
do.
the
Okay.
meaning of the day.
What time of the day does this occur?
Noon, yes.
Jen, you're creating checklists that are permanent as you go, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that we
So
don't
that
go through
next
this all the
week,
time
and
if
if I
somebody
Got run
goes on
over by a
vacation.
bus, the next
That
person, right, does not have to do what I'm doing.
Thank you.
There's
Okay.
binders for every event.
This is why I like the process sheets and stuff like
Process
that. I'm
I
big
have
on
process
that.
sheets and binders for each event, they're well labeled.
Thank
Just
you.
ask Mark to find them if I did get hit by a bus, they're in my office.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Thanks.
All right, it's 9:45, so we've got a little bit, we've got to kind of speed up. Obviously, there was a lot to unpack on Georgetown Days. Do you have anything else that needs to be addressed on this? And then if you, after the meeting, if you want me to spend a few minutes with you looking at those lists to make sure we got all of that information.
Yeah.
So, and then I can help you with whatever needs to get helped. 4th of July, okay, so our 4th of July plans are obviously underway. We have the possibility of a cornhole tournament again. Need to have a conversation about a beer garden. We have the parade and the barbecue, and then it was also brought up to potentially organize the ringing of the town bells at noon. The Alpine Hose is working again. Yay!
Also-
They were kind of good.
Also, do you want the regulators?
Yes, that's on my list.
Do we want the regulators? How much for the regulators? Do you know?
I'm guessing it's gonna be the same as last year's price, whatever that was.
$1,500.
I'm not sure. what you-
1,500.
I would have to check.
1,500.
It was 1,500, I'm almost positive.
That's based on how many people are signed up to do it.
Gotcha.
So,
I mean, I think the regulators bring a fun vibe to the community, and I think that they're exciting. The
So-
whip guy kind of scares me, but that's just
Oh,
me.
the
whip guy?
He also scares the donkeys at the Democrats.
The parade's always fun.
The parade's always, I know. No, I mean, so do you guys want to do the regulators again this year? Okay. I just want to double check on the amount before we vote.
Sorry.
Can I,
Maybe we can check with Mary.
is Mary available?
I can go.
I just want to make, do
Oh,
you want me to run
What do you
down?
want? No,
I just need to
you
know
want-
if, I'm 99% sure we budgeted for the 1,500 for them for regulators. But I want to make sure before we vote on it,
Sure.
then that was
I
budgeted.
think we had at least a dozen people last year.
Yeah, no, it's,
Something like
yeah, the regulators are super fun, so. The guy with the whip is kind of, he's intense.
We're getting this turning operating stuff this year.
Cool, that's awesome. You guys doing the training stuff again?
Oh, yeah.
Cool,
Yeah, the train's on its back.
fun.
I was telling you about how like other towns are doing the bucket brigade and stuff. They figured out a way to do those things without it being too dangerous.
Karen and I have talked a bit about that, we just need to figure out which of those things we exactly want to push forward
Okay.
of the ideas that we have found, and then just, those are the things we wanna do. Can we, I think.
Kevin has a comment.
What does it say?
The Hillday Parade Museum will have a parade entry.
Okay,
Okay,
Oh, nice.
We're
sweet.
gonna do,
Sweet man.
some kind of tracking of the parade entry so that, yes.
and I just, on my list, I basically have, I'm reaching out, I started reaching out to all the usual suspects, just to try to get the list before like the morning of.
Mhm.
But we know that'll happen anyway, and that's okay. But as much as I can get in advance, and things like the 5K through the, and that, somehow, but I just locked myself out, so I can't see. The advocates, those, all the usual suspects are kind of on my list of people to contact, so we have a list of who's participating as early as we can, so we can stage them appropriately.
Well, and it's, we should maybe get a little bit of collateral out for newer businesses, so they understand the gravity of the day
Yes,
and how important it is. So this year is a Sunday, I believe.
that's a Monday,
It's a Monday. Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
it's a Monday.
It's a Monday, yeah.
Oh, that's good,
That is good.
Uh-huh.
because that's a long weekend.
Yeah, because it's a long weekend.
13.
13 is what we had it budgeted.
That's what we paid.
That's what we paid last year was
Yeah,
13. Okay. Is that the same there, Mr. Haynes?
It's gonna be, yeah, I'm just guessing.
So let's
I'll
go
ask
on up to
you.
13 today, and then if it's going to need more funds, come back and tell us we'll need more money. But if we did 13 last year, so if I can have someone make that motion, please.
Am I the only one who can move?
I think we're not.
No, Kyle can move. Kyle's not
I
an
don't think
alternate.
so.
Kyle's an alternate.
You guys are
Yeah.
both alternates?
Regular ones are, if there's
Well,
someone wants to-
he's the only one here.
And Mary.
And well, and Mary, yeah.
That's why I second, I'm letting him take the lead.
Yeah, so great.
I don't
I
know.
move that we authorize $1,300 to have the regulators at the 4th of July event.
And a second, please.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, so that expenditure's handled, and then as far as the other 6th Street agenda items, I will follow up on the beer garden request, so I'll take that off your plate, Jen.
There was one, and I wanted Kevin just to quickly touch on it, if this is true, it was mentioned to me yesterday that potentially the brasserie in the back of Hotel de Paris had a spot for a beer garden for the 4th of July.
Kevin's saying he wants to have a parade.
That much I got.
Yeah, we know.
Can we, I
That's
don't know
kind
how
of
to ask him.
small.
Kevin, can you
I
hear
don't know,
us?
this was, that's for Kevin. I
Yes.
don't know.
Okay, Kevin just unmuted.
So the question?
Hey Kevin, somebody mentioned to me yesterday, and I know you and I had talked about that you had an idea for a beer garden type space for the 4th of July, but we haven't touched on it again. And then somebody mentioned to me yesterday that you were maybe looking at the brasserie space for a beer serving area for the 4th of July. I just wanted to know if there was any merit to that.
It's available, but there are no hard plans.
Okay.
But
Was there
it's
something else you were thinking as far as the beer garden goes? for
no,
that?
just the annex building and those 2 courtyards would be, in my opinion, a very good space because it has both indoor and outdoor seating, and it's easily secured because there's just one entrance in and out through the Lions Gate. But it's available. If something happens, if somebody wants to reserve it to use it, there is a permit that would need to be turned in 30 days before its use as a beer garden, but it is available.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
So that courtyard in the back of the hotel.
Yeah.
And the annex, which is the building behind it, that courtyard.
I'll start working on that conversation piece and who could potentially sponsor that. Hotel de Paris would be a good candidate because they're a nonprofit.
Yeah, if it's at the hotel, the Hotel de Paris Museum would sponsor that permit for its use.
Okay. Anything else on 4th of July right now besides the approval of the regulators and the preliminary plans for parade entry and organization? And obviously, you can count on me to help with the parade. Steve can have the Mustangs, I will keep the 4th of July.
Just
She's
actually, I have
really
two-
like them.
I have 2 car clubs that want to be in the parade, which is great, but I also don't want it just to be a parade of
No,
cars.
you do, because of that dip, right outside. It's the best part of the parade.
I mean, traditionally, we've always, so which part is it, who is it?
I was trying to think, it's also the normal, the Corvettes, but there's one other one.
I think it's a definitely, I mean, I think that we should welcome as many,
I think the other one only wanted 10 cars,
that's fine.
so that's fine.
I mean,
So
cars-
maybe we've got 30
It
cars.
is a car heavy parade. I mean,
Okay,
there's a lot, but it kind of, I think, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, makes it feel very like small town and
Totally.
Yeah.
kind of.
I just wanted to check in before I told them, okay, and then everybody's down for cars.
And the kids can't be behind the kazoo band because they knocked over a lady once and hurt her really heavily hard.
Good to know.
Well, last year, somebody, oh yeah.
Well, we
no.
don't want anybody falling off their razor.
I was just
That
gonna say,
a
don't
problem.
fall off your razor. That
Don't
was.
fall off your razor,
oh my
that was
God.
bad.
That was bad.
That was
Uncle
bad.
Sam, it's not a good look,
was
especially
very
because it was
bad.
Uncle Sam.
It was literally Uncle Sam.
He's fine.
He's okay.
He drove home. It's okay.
Running around Georgetown following it over my trail of blood. Like, where's the guy in the razor?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was going through.
Yeah, so at any rate, okay. Well, we'll continue, obviously, I think next month will be a lot of conversations about finalizing Georgetown days and then ramping up for 4th of July for sure. And then the next item on the agenda is 6th Street lamps.
Here you are.
Hello, sir.
Well, we haven't made too much progress. We did get a hold of Excel and they do have an individual that has agreed to come to town and walk through 6th Street with us with regard to the various repairs, most of which Kevin has put together for that list. We've submitted that to Excel and they've acknowledged their responsibility for trying to fix those. The only flying ointment is that Scott hasn't had email for the last couple of weeks, so he hasn't been able to set anything up. I've given him her direct phone number, and so hopefully we'll coordinate that. We talked about it a little bit with staff yesterday, so I can expect that for the next week or so. Get them in town and they seem intent on trying to help us and get it done as quickly as possible. But
Okay.
I know some of the early repairs that Scott had, talked about, they weren't able to respond as quickly as during Christmas when the lights up because they had a major outage and their crews were pulled off, but then they came and responded very quickly. So he was going to talk to them about not only streetlights, but I think also some of the issues with electric with the tree. So,
Okay.
We do have a lamp that's out down by the post office as well.
okay.
So just
Okay, I know Kevin said that there was a couple more, that he had saw, and also Excel did come through, and that would probably take care of the concern. Excel came through and did an audit on March 15th, and that was a functionality audit, which they would have gone through and inspected every single street light in Georgetown for functionality. They did that in the middle of the night, so that's probably going to begin that audit, so that they'll go ahead and respond to that as an outage rather than some of the things we were looking at were more fixture related and things like that. We'll make sure I'm making it.
Perfect. Well, thank you for your assistance with that. And I think this is the last meeting we're gonna have you, huh?
This is my last day.
It is?
It's my last 2 hours.
Wow.
Well, thanks again for everything.
Thank you very much.
We hope that we haven't scarred you from coming to visit Georgetown too much.
No, hopefully, last time I was here was when I was married. That was 36 years ago, so hopefully we'll try to make sure.
We'll be here. Come visit us for sure. Thanks again for everything. All right. There is an update on the Alpine hose. The bell is working.
It was like 7 minutes early for a long time.
I was gonna say, what time does it go off now?
I think it's on time now, right?
It's 1 minute late.
It was, it hit right at 5 o'clock when I was walking out.
Perfect. Yeah, we were like laying in bed and I heard it. I was like, I'm sorry, was that the bell?
It's back. The bell is back.
The bell is back.
Well, Stephen told me about the meet and greet. He says, I've heard of it every once in a while, but I haven't gone outside just to sit and
What?
listen
Yeah,
to it.
totally.
The
No,
rumors
it's
are
back.
true, it seems to be working. As far as the keys though, I think that Kelly.
We haven't gotten to enjoy your deliciousness yet. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That
Kelly
where's
said-
dishes.
I can smell it though.
I know. We're all waiting for our meeting to end so we can attack it.
Yeah.
Kelly said in the chat that he's programming the cards, and the keys are not an option because they end up in other people's hands that they're not supposed to. He's in the process of working on
Kelly, thank
I
you
can
very
pull
much
that.
for getting the bell.
it. I don't think he's.
Is he gone?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
You're
if
talking
you
to
can hear me,
universe.
Kelly, thank you. Well, that's awesome news that the bell's back.
Yeah.
And so we will, hopefully it continues to bring its chime to our town. I don't know what to say about it.
That was great.
That was so awkward.
That was so
and
good.
And I am just gonna die inside for the rest of the day.
It's
Just so you all know. Yeah,
Oh, man.
I'm a Zennial, so yeah, I'm like, in between. All right, so, do you want to give us a quick Mountain Jams update?
Oh,
So we can
yeah,
approve my awkwardness.
nothing to report, really. We had a shift in operations and promotion and stuff like that, and so I'm doing the hiring of the artists at this point, and
Okay.
it's been delayed, so we're about to get started on that. Hopefully we'll have contracts in place, and we'll have a full roster by hopefully by the end of this month, in the middle of this month. I originally wanted it in the beginning of this month, but we'll see where we can get with that. I have some people lined up, and then I also have different artists and people who are connected to assist me with figuring that out within our budget. The goal is every Saturday from Memorial Day through the end of summer, but we'll see how that works. We do have
Kicking off Memorial Day or before? I'm sorry.
we usually kick off at Memorial Day, but last year what we did is we did Memorial Day, I think, and then we held off until the weather got better around the 4th, which we may do this year. I'm gonna kind of copy last year's schedule exactly. So, and then we'll have, as soon as that's done, I will have a roster to advertise instead of doing it piecemeal, and we can bring people up. And now there's no worry about people gathering, which is nice to this totally different world. So that's where we are. We have what, $7,500 toward it. We can always, and I'm going to be starting to, yeah, that's part of it. And then I'm going to start begging people for money once I have a roster. It's easier when you have a roster to go to people and say, can you be part of this? So, I'll be working with different groups to try to see what I can get some help with it, since I'm down a staff member in my cultural arts program too. So it's just a matter of time.
What is the town part, what part of?
The town puts in $2,500. The Friends of the Library puts in $2,500. The trust through the Georgetown Cultural Arts Program puts in $2,500. And then we have if we need to do a change order at the end of the season to add more music, we'll do it as a change order so that we don't have a situation where we're September, right in the weekend of this Hispanic History Appreciation Month. And then we will have a ballet folklorico. We're gonna have the Fiesta Colorado will be here. I will have my own sound there for them, so that glitch will be taken care of. And so that'll be back out this year, and that'll be part of this program as well.
I wonder if the mariachi band plays Friends in more places again. Cause that was awesome.
I have no idea what they're gonna play. It's funny.
And before I forget, you guys, this is also the last meeting. We're gonna have the train opens April 23rd.
Oh, wow.
I think it's the 22nd. Do I have that?
That's Saturday, the 23rd.
It was the 23rd.
Yay.
I'm excited for the sound of the train.
I am too.
favorite.
It's my favorite.
Good summer.
Feels like Georgetown again.
I totally, the bell, the train.
It's
the new
It's
Georgetown.
the sound of Georgetown.
It's the sound of, it's the chime of the town.
Such a timing
On a
town.
t-shirt. Super awkward moments. All right, let's take a minutes approval.
I can't move for the minutes. I'm sorry. I'm gonna move until the end of the meeting.
All right, I'll move. As long as no one has anything.
Are these the
I think these are the ones that.
changes? Jen?
Yeah, I changed the
Okay.
part when Mary you had said about under the Memorial Day.
Yeah.
And then I sent out the release to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, I move to accept the minutes from the March 2nd, 2022 meeting.
Second. Oh wait, I can't second, can I?
No, but Paul can.
Paul can.
Yes, you can,
No,
just
we
because
could-
you weren't here.
Then an
doesn't- you
alternate
can-
person
I'll
can't.
second.
Yeah, we got a second.
Now Jerry's got it.
Sorry. Apparently it's my first time running a meeting. All in favor? Motion carries. All right, it is kind of 2 AM and I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve.
Bye, Steve. Thanks for everything. Come visit. Don't be a stranger.
I find
Sorry, I
you
wasn't
saying
there. See you guys.
It's not a good place to be. Not that one.
Yeah.
All right, I'm for sure.
Wow, this is what we do now.
All right.
Just makes it easier. It really
I can
does.
smell it.
I'm very excited for
It's
this.
very cold, so it's had plenty of time to warm up. It'll be the
Oh, sorry.
Great.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, my computer.
that's what I was waiting
I'm so
for.
done.
Yeah, I was like, that cheese
So
needs the
done.
temper.
Yeah,
It
it just
does.
really makes time.
So we have a Spanish goat cheese with rosemary. And
I just wanted to meet
Wisconsin
you, but she was one of the
Farm
three
Valley.
finalists.
It's a local, she is great.
Jen, I wanna look at that web list for you.
All right.
So, for
Yeah,
Troy
2
Ann's
years.
contract and
I
stuff.
have.
Jenna,
Do you have everything you need for that?
I think so.
Jennifer, are we audible on camera?
We are
From the German
So,
company.